Hi, this is David Smug from KTBB Radio and AM 1490 KYZS and ESPN. And you're watching John Tyler Lions Football and Robert E. Lee Red Raider Football, brought to you by Tyler Independent School District and Suddenly.
Both teams have come out of the locker room here at Earl Campbell Field, Trinity Mother Frances, Rose Stadium in Tyler. JT with their white uniforms, the blue helmets, the blue numbers, and Lee with their red uniforms, the white numbers and the red helmets. The captain's about to meet near midfield where Jamie Lent will be able to pick up the coin toss. And again, tonight's game has been spotlighted by the Great American Rivalry Series, and our game is being broadcast to armed forces everywhere around the world, and we wish them the best of luck in protecting our country. Down at midfield, the referee is Kyle Rutherford of the East Texas chapter. Teams shaking hands. Everyone's jacked up.
Y'all are the captains of your teams. Keep your teams under control. Let's have a good football game, okay, sir? All right. Don't mock this. You have won the toss. John Tyler has won the toss and elected to defer.
All right, guys, you heard it there. JT wins the coin toss. They defer. Robert E. Lee elects to receive the football, so they'll start out on offense tonight.
All right, so again, a couple of injury notes, and we will have Jamie Lent and Kevin Simon on the sidelines for both teams, and we'll talk to both coaches as they go to the locker rooms. JT linebacker, middle linebacker, and a good-looking player, the sophomore Antoine Lee, hurt his knee during practice earlier this week. I believe it was on Monday or Tuesday, and will not play tonight. Cliff Caldwell is obviously a part of their mix at middle linebacker anyway, but he will start. And Robert E. Lee last week on Friday, walking from class to the field house for athletic period, tripped off of a stairway or a concrete on the walkway and broke his heel and did not play last week.
Good evening. Welcome to a great night of high school football here in Tyler, Texas. Before we begin the game, we want to take just a few minutes to honor a special individual for a lifetime of service to the Robert E. Lee football program. At this time, I'd like to ask PISE board member, Mr. Brad Stradlin, to come to the microphone for the presentation. Good evening.
To recognize you tonight for 43 years of dedicated service of announcing Robert E. Lee football game. It's my pleasure to present to you this plaque. I'd like to read it presented to Alan Shoemate for 43 years of service to the Robert E. Lee Red Raiders. Tyler ISD sincerely thanks you for your service and dedication in announcing Red Raider football. Presented this 31st day of October 2008 and is signed by Dr. Randy Reed and Mr. Ron Vick, President of the Tyler Independent School District Board of Trustees. Thank you, Mr. Shoemate.
44 years ago, Mr. Jim Plyler, former superintendent, who is here with us tonight, hired me as a classroom teacher at Robert E. Lee High School. A year later, Mr. Dick Lindsay, assistant principal at Lee, perhaps foolishly, asked if I would fill in as the public address announcer at Rose Stadium. 23 years later, here I am, and that's what I did. It's been a joy, it's been a pleasure, it's been great being a part of the Robert E. Lee family. I thank you, Mr. Spradlin, Dr. Reed, and Danny Long, in particular the athletic office led by Mr. Long, a great group of people that it's been a true pleasure to work with. I thank all of these people. I thank the best fans in the world, Robert E. Lee Red Raider fans. It was a great opportunity a few years ago to claim as my most exciting time in football a state championship for Robert E. Lee High School. My second greatest pleasure would be, and may I be just a little bit prejudiced this evening, Red Raiders win one tonight.
Ever notice when Texans get the hankering for something hot, fresh, and delicious, they end up at DQ? It's because only DQ has the best tasting burgers, baskets, sandwiches, and salads in the state. From 100% pure American beef and all-white chicken to fresh veggies and all your favorite toppings. No matter what you order at DQ, you know it's gonna be great. DQ just tastes better.
DQ, that's what I like about Texas.
Well, it's been all week long. Both sides have been able to talk about this game. We have as well. And now it's time to play the game. Lee will get the ball to start the game. Luke Wagner, the quarterback, the junior, 6'2", 186. The running backs, Chase Wiley, 382 yards rushing, 4 touchdowns, 65 yards receiving the touchdown. Day Brown, the junior, 122 carries, 618 yards, and 7 scores. Has not been healthy the last couple of weeks. And also, he's got 8 passes, including a touchdown. Receivers are Joey Turner, 4 catches. Darrell Tate, 15 catches, 219 yards, and 35 rushes from that Wildcat position, and 3 touchdowns. Lee has both Darrell Tate and Chase Wiley back deep. The tight ends and H-back are Doug Franklin, the senior, and senior Nick Harton. We'll also see at receiver Marquise Mosley, the junior, or the sophomore, KJ Jones, the senior, sophomore Dennis Edwards, Jonathan Edwards, and Stephen Reagan. Here's Diaz with a very nice deep kick that Wiley will field, backing up inside of his 5. Drops it, gets it back again at the 10-15, and hit hard at the 15-yard line. Great coverage downfield, John Tyler. Lee will start the drive. That was Cliff Caldwell, the starting middle linebacker, and Lee will open up at the 15-yard line. Up front, tackle to tackle, left to right, Hunter Hogan, Brant Martin, Greg Holston, Nathan Yost, and Thomas Lacey. For JT up front, the ends are Ricky Marshall with 5 sacks and Elijah Williams with 2. Tackles are Ashton Dorsey, the junior, and Sidney Terrell, the senior. Linebackers are Arps, Caldwell, and Bayonne. Cornerbacks, LaKendrick Wilkerson and Jeremy Biggs. The safeties, Billy Tompkins and senior Corey Wilson. JT defensively allowing just under 300 yards a game and 21 points per game. Day Brown in motion, left hash mark. They run Wiley up the middle for short yardage out to the 18-yard line, second down and 7. Billy Tompkins, or Javalis Hurd comes in and makes the stop for JT, who also gets an early start. Robert E. Lee's offense averaging only 265 yards per game, 24.6 points per game as they start this game against JT.
And they come right out and they're going to test the middle, the interior middle of Ashton Dorsey and Sidney Terrell of John Tyler with a short gain.
3-yard pickup, Chase Wiley, who 2 weeks ago had the game of his life against DeSoto, scoring both running and receiving. This time they'll set Wiley on the right edge on second down and 7. Darrell Tate goes in motion. Here's a flag down and procedure call against Lee, and that's going to cost the Red Raiders. And Randy, we've talked this a lot, is Lee offensively, when everything is clean, they're pretty good. But when they have the turnovers, obviously, but also the false starts and the holding calls, they are not a team that overcomes long distance on second or third down.
Not a lot of times, and they haven't done it. They did a better job of that last week, David, but the problem has been they started off in their first series now, the last 3 weeks, with a penalty.
So now we've just started. Lee with the ball inside their 15, second down and long after the 3-yard run from Wiley. The 5-yard mark off, and John Tyler is bunched up trying to force Lee to throw the football. Snap shotgun. They hand it off to Day Brown, who tries to turn the corner, and he does to the 15, 20, out close to the 25-yard line, and then hit at around midfield, and that's right there going to cost John Tyler 15 yards. It looked as if he was just short of the first down. Day kept running down the sideline and was hit out of bounds by Alvin Arps, and that's going to cost John Tyler 15 yards. But an 11-yard pickup that was close to the first down and a 15-yard late hit on Alvin Arps, who he saw it. He doesn't know. I'm not trying to give Alvin Arps a reason to hit Day Brown, but as loud as it is, Day's running down the sideline. If he didn't hear the whistle, he pushed Day out of bounds. It's 15 yards.
Well, Day has just enough speed to get outside on the edge, and that time there was a good block made by Doug Franklin as well as Thomas Lacey from the right side to help him out, and it was the DBs of John Tyler that forced him all the way along the near sideline where he was hit out of bounds.
Day really showing speed that he hasn't had much. I know it's been his shoulder that's hurt, but it's also kind of affected the way he has run the last 2 weeks. First down, Robert E. Lee at the 39-yard line. No score, first possession. They run Wiley up the middle for a good gain of about 4, maybe 5 out near the 44-yard line. Caldwell again is there for John Tyler, along with Sidney Terrell, the senior, who comes into the game with 28 tackles, second down and 6.
All kinds of motion being employed by Lee on all of the running far, and they just do a little cross check back inside to Wiley right behind the center and behind Brant Martin, the left guard, for the 5-yard gain.
KJ Jones in the slot. Mosley split far side, right hash mark. Reagan near side for Robert E. Lee in the shotgun. It is Darrell Tate in that Wildcat, what they call the T-gun formation. Franklin in motion, other side. Snap from Holston. Darrell Tate wants to keep it, looks for a seal outside, bounces outside. Run out of bounds at about the 48-yard line. That's a heck of a play on the perimeter by Cliff Caldwell to drag him down by the shoulder pads. That's a heck of a tackle. That's also, a gain of 3 on the play, short of the first down. And the chase down Darrell Tate, Randy, is something nobody else has done.
Well, John Tyler has excellent speed, and they can match it very well with Lee's speed skill players on the outside, as we've seen with Day and that time with Tate on the outside.
9 minutes, 40 seconds and counting, first quarter. No score. Lee facing third down and a long yard at their 48-yard line, and Luke Wagner is under center. Lone setback is Brown. Tate's in motion. Day bounces outside and will be hit short of the first down and did not make it. It looked like he had a crease and a great play defensively by Joe Bayon. It knocks him down for a loss of maybe a foot or 2, and Lee faces an early big play, fourth down. Ricky Marshall, who's had a great year involved, the 6'1 senior, 30 tackles and 5 sacks this year. Here comes an early play. Mike Owens is sending out the offense. Play clock is down to 20. Early on, we've got ourselves a big fourth down play. Wiley comes out. Play clock is down to 10. They break the huddle. JT's defense trying to give the ball back to the offense with great field position. From the 48-yard line, Wagner under center, quarterback keeper, and I don't think he made it. Don't think he made it. It depends on the mark on the far side. It looked like he was short of the first down, right outside the 49-yard line, and this is going to bring out the markers. Kevin, you're on the far side. You have a better angle from there. Your thoughts about whether he made the first down?
Well, I think if it stopped short early but fell forward right at the end, it's going to be close, probably too close to call.
It looked like, Jamie, it looked like they had him short.
Yeah, they definitely did early on, but Wagner no quit in him. He kept those legs moving. You saw that last push. Looked like he got close to the marker.
Here's the stretch, and he got it. Whoa. First down. He got a yard. He needed a yard, and he got about 3/4 of a yard. And I mean, right there, that's man on man in the middle, and Lee will keep the drive going with 8:30 to go, and the clock runs first quarter, no score. At the 49-yard line, so Day Brown picked up 15 yards, allowed to get the first down. Darrell Tate now in that T-gun formation, and Chase Wiley to his left. Lee with 3 receivers. Shotgun formation, Tate, they run a reverse, bounces outside, Day Brown gets a block, midfield, runs right into a defender, and knocked down by LaKendrick Wilkerson, and that's a great open field tackle by Wilkerson, and no gain right there.
Well, they were able to read the play successfully. A good attempted block on the inside, back around by Franklin, but Day was not able to get around the one defender in his way, and then he had help on the backside from a couple of other John Tyler lines.
You don't run a reverse for nothing. You look for a big play on a reverse as you try to use your misdirection against, we talked about this with John Tyler's great speed defensively. 2nd down and 10. Tate goes back in the T-gun formation. Now remember, he has not thrown a pass during a game this year. 2 wide receivers from the Lee 49 shotgun. They're bringing everybody. Tate with the blitz. He breaks a tackle into the secondary. 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown. Flag is down at the end of the play. Before he scored, there was a flag thrown by the referee, Kyle Rutherford, and a 15-yard penalty, I think, is going to cost Robert E. Lee perhaps the touchdown. Let's see what they say. Darrell Tate beat the blitz that time, Randy, and went 51 yards for a touchdown. There was a flag as he was running into the end zone, and it might go against Lee on the kickoff return. But the bottom line is they talked about they were concerned about disruptive plays, but also thought they could get the big play.
Yeah, and they did, and they busted right up the middle. John Tyler had 9 men in the box. They were daring Lee to throw the ball with Tate back there. Tate has not thrown the ball yet, and he didn't that time. He found the seam behind Yost and Lacey to the right side, and he took off, and he was untouched once he hit the secondary for Robert E. Lee's score.
Now it's up to JT. They'll probably take the penalty on the kickoff. Brant Martin, the left guard, 5'8", 190, senior left guard, did something trailing the play as Tate was in the free and scoring that hurts his team for 15 yards. Here comes the extra point attempt. Joey Turner is the holder at the 10. He's also a wide receiver, Fred Coleman's nephew. The kicker is Judson Hinesley. Here's the snap, here's the hold, the kick is up, and the kick is inside the left upright. So, 7:18 to go in the opening quarter. The 50th year between JT and Lee strikes first, 7-0. Red Raiders on News Talk 600 KTBB.
This summer, DQ's the only place you're gonna find the new Caramel Chip Cheesequake Blizzard and all your other sweet favorites. Only DQ's got Blizzard flavor treats made with our one-of-a-kind soft serve and cookies, candy, or fruit. Peanut buster parfaits, banana splits, dip cones, and 5 incredible flavors of Moo Latte. For the best food and most delicious treats in Texas, DQ just tastes better.
DQ, that's what I like about Texas.
7:18 to go in the opening quarter. Robert E. Lee picking up a first down on the personal foul plus the quarterback keeper to keep it alive. And on 2nd down and long, they go 51 yards with Darrell Tate.
And it's an 8-play, 85-yard drive for the Red Raiders in 4:42 and a beautiful play call. John Tyler had 9 men in the box, and Lee gashed him straight up the gut for 6.
JT loves to bring mass amount of people. It's worked most of the year. You are a little bit susceptible to the big play. Now, the thing about the 15-yard mark-off is Robert E. Lee is now kicking off, Hinesley kicking off from his 25. So John Tyler should be getting great field position regardless of the kick and or the return as they battle back from 7-0 down. Midway through the first quarter, Hinesley with a high pooch kick. Oh, JT's going to have the ball near midfield to start this drive. If not better, knocked down at their own 45-yard line. Tackle made by John Paul Kane, number 35. Here's another flag at the end of the play. and I'm not sure exactly what this one is. And, of course, you got a lot of emotions, a lot of tension. These kids, all of them know each other, these young players for both teams. So 15 yards gives JT tremendous field position at the 45-yard line, and now we'll see the call after the return. And it's against Robert E. Lee, 15 yards, and JT will start the ball, this possession, at the 40-yard line.
The coaching staff, was about talking. Too much talking and taunting going on after the play. It wasn't a late hit, just too much yapping from one of the Raiders' return men.
So JT will start at the Lee 40 after this 51-yard touchdown run by Darrell Tate. In the shotgun, Jeremy Johnson, the junior. They nickname him Toke. He's a heck of a player. Back to throw. Wants to go deep on the first play. Has a man open. Overshoots his intended receiver just inside the end zone. He went deep. Ben George was in coverage. And JT went for the big play on the opening play, 2nd down and 10.
And that's really a great play call because I know Lee has been very, very susceptible to the deep pass against DeSoto and Lufkin. In 2 losses this year, Lee was gashed for long touchdown passes.
Tarrington Joyner, the intended receiver, the hero in that game against Wichita Falls Rider, but he got the game-winning pass on the slant from David Bush. Shotgun Johnson with Black and Chancellor next to him. Check that, that's Ward who goes in motion far side from the left hash. They run Keordrick Black, hit near the line of scrimmage, but tumbles forward for a gain of 3. Matt Monagold and Reggie Taylor, who's been dinged up the last week or two on the stop, and JT faces 3rd down and 7 at the Lee 37-yard line, a gain of 3. Keordrick Black this year, 113 carries, 745 yards, 5 touchdowns. He's accounted for nearly 1,000 yards. He has 23 catches as well. 3-yard pickup, 3rd and 7. Johnson from the shotgun. Snap comes from Arispe. Johnson sets up, fade pattern off to the right. He's got a man open, close to a 1st down. It is at the 29-yard line. Very well-designed play. Ben George comes over to make the stop. Jordan Aubrey couldn't get over there, and that time they had a man wide open in the flat. Detrick Morgan for a gain of 8 and 1st down JT.
Great play call again. He's wide open in the flat. Lee does not pick up the receiver, and until it's too late, he dances over to the far sideline for the first down for John Tyler.
From the 29-yard line, JT offensively very multiple with Johnson's got a great gun. Remember, came in at the end of that North Mesquite game to end the year last year. Black next to Johnson in the shotgun to the near side, 1st and 10. In motion, they run Johnson, quarterback keeper, down inside the 25 and bulls his way for about 4.5 yards. Monagold makes the stop for Robert E. Lee. It brings up 2nd down and let's say a long 5.
Well, they're going to try to pick their poison against Lee. Lee's run defense is one of the best around, as we've seen all season long. John Tyler's going to mix it up, throw the ball deep, then throw it in the flat and run 2 times, once in the middle, once outside.
Pretty good when you have balance, both throwing the ball and running the ball. You got a heck of a kicking game with Jesse Diaz, who's already kicked 5 field goals this year. Tariq Spencer far side. JT with 3 receivers, including in the slot Ward and Morgan. They run the draw play. Keordrick Black 1st down inside the 20, down to the 17-yard line, a gain of 7 yards. And that time they gashed that proud defense. Jordan Aubrey makes the stop, and Keordrick Black picks up a 1st down.
They went to the right-hand side behind Arispe and Nunez to the right, and Anthony. They peeled out and made a nice block, opening the door for Black.
So JT with great field position, trying to answer the bell. They've done that throughout the year. 1st and 10 at the Robert E. Lee 17-yard line. Just inside the 18, same shotgun formation. Johnson wants to throw, now pumps, now throws it away. A receiver downfield, caught out of bounds, incomplete. What a nice catch out of bounds. Reggie Taylor with pressure that forced Johnson to pump fake it. As he was trying to find Spencer, he caught it but well out of bounds and good coverage. It's now 2nd down and 10.
Yeah, great coverage downfield for Lee, but it was that pressure, as you mentioned, able to beat his block that time. Taylor got inside and forced the fast pass well out of bounds.
Reggie has been a little frisky, I would think. He has not played 100% for a couple of weeks. 2nd down and 10. Demetrius Curtis is in the game for JT. Shotgun to Johnson. Keordrick Black next to him. They run Black up the middle, not much, but down to the 15 for about 2, maybe 3. Sets up 3rd down and long. Patrick Howard, the junior, Up front for John Tyler, left tackle to right tackle. Reggie Taylor, Craig Jones, Oziel Arispe, Israel Nunez, and Jaron Anthony. Receivers are Joyner, Morgan, Curtis, Spencer, and Ward. Cortland Nickelberry at times as well, and Charles Jackson. Johnson, the quarterback. Black and Chancellor are the running backs. Johnson shotgun here. 3rd down and 7 for John Tyler. 7-0 lead first quarter, 4:50 to go. Shotgun Johnson back to throw. Has time, throws, pass, incomplete. In between his receiver that time, Joyner, and really a lead defensive back was there. Also in the pattern, Dominique Ward, and they're going to bring in Jesse Diaz. Interesting story, Randy. Early in the year when JT was about to play Texas High, I went to practice. Jesse was kicking field goals over on the backside field. No one ever watches the kickers. I said, what's your long? He said, I really feel good from 45. That's kind of my cap, but I might be able to go a yard or two longer. He kicked a 45-yarder to beat Mesquite 2 weeks ago. Here's a 32-yard attempt here. Snap coming. Snap, kick up long enough and right down the middle. Good. Jesse Diaz continues his spectacular year. Our score with 4:37 to go in the first quarter. It is Robert E. Lee 7, John Tyler 3 on News Talk 600 KTBB.
Ever notice when Texans get the hankering for something hot, fresh, and delicious, they end up at DQ? It's because only DQ has the best tasting burgers, baskets, sandwiches, and salads in the state. From 100% pure American beef and all-white chicken to fresh veggies and all your favorite toppings. No matter what you order at DQ, you know it's gonna be great. DQ just tastes better.
DQ, that's what I like about Texas.
On a night with a great American rivalry series, in the U.S. Air Force is talking about this being the game of the country in high school football. 7-3, Robert E. Lee, 4:37 to go first quarter.
John Tyler scoring cap, David, 9 plays, 25 yards, and 241. And Jesse Diaz with a nice long leg, hit it from 32. It could have gone 50 probably.
He's about to kick off. He's kicked 6 of 8 field goals this year. This one's very high and very deep near the sideline. Darrell Tate at the 5 for Robert E. Lee. At the 10, looks for a seam. 25, breaks a tackle. 30, caught from behind, but gets out to the 40-yard line. So Lee will have great field position at the 39-yard line. Darrell Tate ran into a kind of a wedge, and everybody, I think, tackled the wedge and forgot about him, and Billy Tompkins was there to drag him down. Darrell Tate, big part of their return game, returned a punt earlier this year for a touchdown. And Robert E. Lee will open at their 39-yard line, a 34-yard return that time for Tate. 7-3 Lee with 4:29 to go in the opening quarter. Greg Holston, the junior center, 6'1", 260 at center. Luke Wagner will go underneath center, and Day-Day Brown is the deep back outside the Lee 30. From the 39-yard line, they run the counter to Chase Wiley. Has a block at the 40, at 50, midfield into JT territory for a gain of 14 yards. LaKendrick Wilkerson trips him up and was slow getting up. Looked like he may have hurt maybe his hand or shoulder, but he bounces up. He's a tough young man, but a pickup of 14 yards for Wiley.
And Lee has done nothing but run the football thus far, David. They have yet to attempt a pass, and now their 9th offensive play they've run in the ball game. And look for more of that. Mike Owens has said, well, we're going to dare them to stop our run first, and then we'll pick our poison when we throw passes.
JT's trying to do everything they can to force Lee to throw the football. That's what they want them to do. 1st and 10 at the JT 47. Shotgun, Luke Wagner. Hands it off the draw play. Day-Day Brown, 1st down, 40, 35 into the secondary. At the 25, flag is down. Inside the 15. Check that. That's a towel. Down inside the JT 15-yard line. Jeremy Biggs runs him out of bounds. But a very nice pickup for Day-Day Brown of 35 yards and another huge seam for the Red Raiders offense.
And they're gashing John Tyler right now, David. They're just making nice blocks. It's a nice controlled zone type of block read that the coaches have employed for Lee, and they just get great opening that time for Day-Day in a big game.
There was a flag down, but it was a white towel from the hip of the H-back in Doug Franklin. 3:55 to go in the opening quarter. 7-3 Robert E. Lee in the T-gun formation. Brown and Wiley next to Darrell Tate. 4-man front for John Tyler. Franklin in motion near side right hash. Holston snap to Darrell. He'll keep it himself and get hit in the backfield for a loss of 2 or 3. Oh, he took a shot right there, right in the middle of all that. Nice play from Alvin Arps that time for JT and Ricky Marshall, who's had a great year, 2nd down and long.
Yeah, they just bull rushed that time and blew past the lead line. give him great credit for really just getting into the quarterback Tate's gut as soon as he turned to go left.
Yeah, you got to get when you got Black and Johnson for John Tyler and Chancellor as well. Plus, not even that, but also Ward and Morgan, and with its Wiley, Brown, and Darrell Tate, you got to get them before they get that first burst of speed. Shotgun Wagner from the JT 13. 2 receivers next to him, 2 backs. Luke wants to throw back. He's got Wiley open in the end zone. He caught it. Touchdown. Robert E. Lee, that little throwback from 13 yards out. Beautiful throw by Wagner, and they are using misdirection right now, Jamie Lent, to make this look easy right now.
Yeah, it looked like JT was guessing run there. Robert E. Lee had him fooled. Beautiful pass by Wagner over the top of the defender, and a great job by Chase Wiley to get the feet inbounds before pulling in the pass. Beautiful offensive execution by the Red Raiders.
This is an offense, as we know, that has at times struggled, but because they've run the ball early, Randy, it sets up the open play-action pass on the throwback to Wiley. Here's the extra point attempt, the snap to Turner, the kick is up, and the kick by Judson Hinesley is good. With 3:07 to go in the opening quarter, Robert E. Lee 14, John Tyler 3 on News Talk 600, KTBB.
This summer, DQ's the only place you're going to find the new Caramel Chip Cheesequake Blizzard and all your other sweet favorites. Only DQ's got Blizzard flavor treats made with our one-of-a-kind soft serve and cookies, candy, or fruit. Peanut butter parfaits, banana splits, dipped cones, and 5 incredible flavors of Moo Latte. For the best food and most delicious treats in Texas, DQ just tastes better.
DQ, that's what I like about Texas.
(14-3), Robert E. Lee and Judson Hinesley kicking off for the Red Raiders.
And Lee responds immediately. 4 plays, 61 yards, and 121. The touchdown pass, the wheel route. Chase Wiley takes it alone in the back of the end zone from quarterback Wagner.
Keordrick Black is back deep for JT in the middle. Chancellor is off to his right. Here's a kick, and it is to Chancellor, who catches it over his shoulder at the goal line. They run the reverse. This is Dominic Ward, who does have the sideline 15-20 and knocked out of bounds at the 20-yard line by Taylor Reed, number 7. They almost had that, but Reed was not fooled and knocked him out just outside the 20-yard line where John Tyler will take over. Kevin, JT is falling behind. They fell behind last week. They got to make sure they don't get in the habit where they expect to always come back.
Well, they've been a second-half football team this season. They're a very patient football team. That said, you can't get behind too big against good football teams. They got behind against the bad football team last week and was not able to overcome that. You definitely cannot overcome against a good football team.
2:59 to go in the opening quarter. JT down 11, shotgun Johnson. He'll run the ball this time. This is Chancellor, tries to bounce it outside and cannot do it. Austin Wilson is out there. Remember, Wilson missed a couple of games early because of that blood clot in his right leg, and they drained it. He's played very well. He had the huge play, Randy, against Mesquite that saved that game and picked off a pass, in fact, last week as well.
Well, so far the offenses have come out firing in both cylinders. John Tyler had a short drive for their field goal, but Lee has traversed down the field 2 times already for 2 scores. Let's see if the lead defense can get a 3 and out and get the ball right back for their hot offense.
Chancellor will go out in this particular formation. Keordrick Black is to the left of the quarterback, Jeremy Johnson. Trip formation near side for John Tyler from their 15 or 20. They run Black. He's got good yardage, but then slowed down at the 25. And a gain of 4. Patrick Howard was there, the 6'1", 240-pound junior. Reggie Taylor and Simon Blaylock, the defensive ends. Howard in the middle. The linebackers inside, Matt Monagold and Austin Wilson, along with Blake Roberts. Jordan Aubrey is the rover, the bandit formation. Junior Kane, a safety, kind of bandit as well. Safety, Chris Dinkins. Cornerbacks, Josh Aubrey and Ben George. 3rd down and 5 as Black picked up 4 yards from the 25-yard line. Shotgun Johnson takes the snap, wants to throw over in the flat, dropped at the 25, and then a late hit on Jordan Aubrey, on Josh Aubrey. Oh, that's going to cost Lee 15 yards. He threw it out in the flat, and that's the 3rd personal foul against Robert E. Lee in this game. He threw it over in the flat, trying to find David Bush, and he got drilled after the throw, and that's going to cost the lead defense 15 yards.
Well, it wasn't so much a hit, David. He hit him high up at the top of the chest area with both forearms, and the official standing right there. You really have no option but to protect the football player and throw the flag. And
it's a defenseless receiver.
Exactly right. And Lee's got to stop these dumb mistakes, or it's going to wind up costing them.
Minute 42 to go in the first quarter, 14-3. That's a huge first down. Jamie, to you, go ahead.
Yeah, I don't think it was the lateness that the officials threw the flag for. I think it was the forearm up to the top, up to the head area. I think that's what drew the flag.
Bush goes in motion, as does Dominique Ward to the far side. Triple set that way now. 3-man front for Lee. 1st and 10, John Tyler. Back in motion, it's Bush. Johnson on the keep. Nope, gives it to Black, and he toughs run out to the 45. 4 yards, give him 5, 2nd down and 5. And that's such a tough play to defense. Kane and Monagold were there, as by the time you even know who has it, usually they've picked up 3 or 4, pick up a 5-yard 2nd and 5.
And Johnson's very, very tricky. He might pull that back in on that zone read, and that handoff that time, I'll tell you what, Monagold with a nice lick, but he powered right through him for a 5-yard gain.
John Paul Camp is checked in at linebacker for Robert E. Lee. 2nd and 5, JT at their 45. Johnson back to throw. Quick sideline pass in the dirt. Intended that time for Cortland Nickelberry. Jeremy's a little off right now. Josh Aubrey was there defending, and it's 3rd down and 5, JT. 1:06 to go, opening quarter. Live at Earl Campbell Field, Trinity Mother Frances Rose Stadium in Tyler. 14-3, Robert E. Lee first quarter, and JT a 3rd down and 5.
And Jeremy Johnson's probably feeling a little bit of nerves right now. He's either throwing the ball a little too hard and high or low on the last 2 passes.
He's not one to feel nerves, though. He's usually very calm and collected. That's why they come back. Bush in motion. 3 receivers far side. Johnson runs the option, flips it out, and it's on the ground, and I believe recovered by Black. Not sure now. It's still on the ground. There's a huge scramble for the football. It was a bad patch that Black couldn't pick up. Fumble recovered by Robert E. Lee. Reggie Taylor forced the fumble. I'm not sure who recovered the fumble, but the Red Raiders will get great field position on the bad pitch or the communication. Patrick Howard recovered, Jamie.
Yeah, credit Austin Wilson also coming from that left linebacker position on the outside there. He got to Johnson before he wanted to pitch it. That forced the bad pitch. Great job by the lead defense to get on the loose ball.
So with 54 seconds to go in the opening quarter, Robert E. Lee with a ball at the 41-yard line of John Tyler with a 14-3 advantage. Straight one-back position. Darrell Tate goes in motion. They fake it to him, give it to Day-Day, who tries to bounce it outside. Can he turn the corner? And in he does. Oh, what a play defensively by Alvin Arps, one-handed. Slings Day-Day to the ground for a large loss of 4 yards, 2nd down and long.
Well, the running play went nowhere that time initially. Once again, Lee from time to time will have a little bit of trouble with how fast they get the play going, and it took forever. John Tyler's way too fast, and they read that and knocked him back for a 4-yard
Well, you
loss.
got to give Alvin Harps the reason why they took so long, because he was in the backfield. 2nd down and 14. Now let's look at it 2 different ways. JT needs to stop. Lee up 14-3. They got to feel like if they can put something in here, they got pretty good shape. But 2 emotional teams, 2 crosstown rivals, district championship opportunities on the line. Shotgun to Wagner, back to throw, sets up, wants to throw the screen, throws it in the dirt, intended for Day-Day Brown and incomplete. Great job by John Tyler to eat that alive, as they had receivers Franklin down the right sideline. Far sideline was Tate, Ashton Dorsey. AD is Adrian Peterson. Ashton Dorsey calls himself AD, and the JT defense with their backs at their 45-yard line have come up with 2 big plays, 3rd down and long.
Yeah, they're pressure for John Tyler right now. They're daring Lee to make something happen quick.
Jamie.
Yeah, I think we saw a little bit of maturity there from Luke Wagner. Smart play, something maybe we didn't see out of him earlier in the season. There was nowhere to throw that football. He didn't try to force it in, just threw it at the feet of his receiver.
3rd down and long. Wagner wants to set up another screen, and he throws it incomplete, intended for Day-Day Brown, and another great play defensively. Alvin Arps blows it up, and you are allowed to hit the receiver behind the line of scrimmage, and Robert E. Lee blows an opportunity with great field position at the end of 1. Our score, Robert E. Lee 14, John Tyler 3, back in 1 minute on News Talk 600 KTBB.
Ever notice when Texans get the hankering for something hot, fresh, and delicious, they end up at DQ? It's because only DQ has the best tasting burgers, baskets, sandwiches, and salads in the state. From 100% pure American beef and all-white chicken to fresh veggies and all your favorite toppings. No matter what you order at DQ, you know it's gonna be great. DQ just tastes better.
DQ, that's what I like about Texas.
Back to start the second quarter as JT's defense picks up the offense after the fumbled option play. Brady Jones, the punter for Lee, just outside his 40, low snap, picks it up off the ground and gets off a nice punt that will drive John Tyler back to the 5. At the 10, 15 looks for room. Keordrick Black breaks a tackle, still going outside the 15 near the 20-yard line, and a flag comes down towards the end of the play, and that might be another 15-yard penalty against Robert E. Lee on a late hit. 40-yard punt, 13-yard return. John Paul Kemp makes the stop. Also C.J. Johnson at the bottom of that stack, and also at the same time, Keordrick Black gets up wobbly after the punt return. JT with a turnover, but the defense gives the ball right back to the Lions offense. And another 15-yard penalty, personal foul against Robert E. Lee. That is 4 in the first 12 minutes and 14 seconds of this game.
That's 5 penalties for 65 yards against Lee. John Tyler doesn't have one, and Lee's not helping themselves at all when they are giving gifts, 15-yard gifts, 4 times already in just over 1 quarter of play.
East Texas chapter, the referee is Kyle Rutherford. 4 15-yard penalties against Lee, personal fouls. And right there, what that does for John Tyler is it gives them more options offensively because they were about to start that drive back inside their 20-yard line. They will start with Johnson in the shotgun from the 34. He'll take the snap, hand off in the backfield, nothing there. Reggie Taylor blew that play up. Lots of disruption on both sides of the football. That was Kendrick Chancellor that time who loses a yard back to the 34-yard line, 2nd down and 11. Remember, the pregame show brought to you by Southside Bank. We appreciate Lonnie Uzel and company. Also, the halftime brought to you by Pelche. Just say Pelche, thanks to Robert Pelche and Dean Cagle. Postgame report brought to you by Advantage Auto, thanks to Rick Mavis. And also the Burger King player profile, thanks to Terry Davis and Burger King profiling players from both teams. So Chancellor loses a yard, 2nd down and 11. JT from their 33. Johnson shotgun. One's at quarterback draw. Tries to bounce it outside. Nothing there. And is smoked down at the 34 for a gain of about a yard. Not much there initially. Randy and Reggie Taylor again. Jordan Aubrey. Looked like Jeremy wanted to bounce it outside. Nothing but red jerseys, 3rd and 10.
Well, they made the stop up front. Lee is watching quarterback Johnson and sees everything and watches everything that he does and make sure he doesn't try to get outside or break one of those quarterback draws.
3rd down and 10. John Tyler with Jeremy Johnson, the quarterback. 1 for 4 so far for 8 yards. Now, he had the one in the flat that was dropped by Bush that led to the 15-yard late hit against Josh Aubrey. 3rd and 10. John Tyler down 11. 10:26 to go, 2nd quarter. Shotgun snap to Johnson. Pump fakes. Wants to go deep post. Aubrey is there in coverage and almost was as much the intended receiver as Tariq Spencer was. Great coverage by Aubrey. Ball goes incomplete. Good throw by Johnson. He's got a great arm. And Dominic Ward. Was the receiver. Excuse me, I thought it was Tariq Spencer. Sorry about that. Good job, Craig. So Spencer now comes all the way back and will go into punt formation. And the lead defense comes up with a three and out after the personal foul. Back to field to punt. Ben George at around his 35. Tariq Spencer averaging just over 31, just under 32 yards a punt. Here's the snap to Spencer. It's a good snap. Gets it off. Nice wobbly punt that George will call for a fair catch at the Lee 37. And that's where the Red Raiders will take over with a 14-3 lead. Luke Spencer, the quarterback at times. It's also Darrell Tate. When Lee goes into the shotgun with Tate, it's called the T-gun formation. 29-yard punt that time. No return for Tariq Spencer. 10-10, so we've had a few of the uppercuts. We've had a few of the emotions. Now does the game settle down and the players settle down. JT hurt by the fumble, but they did not give up points with it. And their aggressive defense, you wonder about some of the bigger plays, how that might affect what Barry Anderson, the defensive coordinator, may do. Wagner under center with Tate in motion. They give it to Wiley up the middle. And he nudges forward for a couple of yards, maybe 3 out to the 40-yard line, 2nd down and 7.
Well, Lee kind of got out of the last series, got out of what they've been doing, which is primarily running to the football. And in the last series, they tried 2 passes, and John Tyler blew up both plays on the last series. Now see Lee gets back to their groundwork.
From the 40-yard line, coming out of the game is Anthony Nelson, who's a transfer who came to Robert E. Lee from playing at John Tyler. 2nd down and 7. Up front for JT in their 4-man front with Williams and Marshall the ends. Dorsey and Terrell are the tackles, and they do shift around quite a bit. 2nd down, 7. T-gun formation with Darrell Tate. He'll take the snap, run to the near side, looks for a seam at the 45, breaks a tackle, near midfield, but not quite there, and very close to a first down. Alvin Arps has made a bunch of tackles in space. Jeremy Biggs is there as well, but just short of the first down, and Tate almost, Randy, got down the sideline again.
Yeah, he did. He was looking for his seam, trying to pick his spot, and he went on outside, and Arps is just incredibly strong. He just wrestled him down by his midsection and brought him down quickly. 5'7", 190. Arps is a power plug.
Joey Turner and Dede Brown have checked in on third down and a yard for Robert E. Lee at their 46-yard line. Wagner will go under center. Wiley is the H-back, Liz formation, offset I left. Wagner, the quarterback, he'll give it to Wiley up the middle. First down, midfield, breaks a tackle, leans into JT territory at the 48-yard line. Gain of 6 on the play. Kevin, JT loves to take gambles defensively. It's worked all year for most of the year. What's happening right now?
Well, David, I saw a little bit of this last week, and right now they're having trouble getting lined up is one thing, but if you're going to blitz, that first line of defense has got to make the tackle, and that simply hasn't happened so far tonight.
Especially when you're playing against some great speed, and that's what Lee also has on offense as well, with 2 or 3 of their playmakers. Anthony Nelson's in the game. Dede Brown goes in motion near the quarterback. Dede on a delay on the right tackle, out right end, and knocked down after a short gain. Now he got a little bit more than I thought inside the 45, from the 47 down to the 43 and a gain of 4 yards. Randy, they're running misdirection on almost every play, and at times faking it, and then running the ISO with the T-gun formation and Darrell Tate.
Which just really havoc for that speed defense and that pressure up the middle and on the edges. And if Lee can keep doing this and maintain focus and protect the football, it should bode well for them tonight.
You are listening to Robert E. Lee and John Tyler on News Talk 600 KTBB and KTBB.com. Marquise Mosley split near side for Lee on second down and 6. 2 H-backs this time. Tate goes in motion. They run the little counter. Chase Wiley, 35-30, into the secondary, 20, 15, 10, 5, no flags, touchdown. Robert E. Lee. Billy Tompkins tried to chase down Wiley, who's having 43 yards.
He got a little bit of a gap there, David, behind Lacey and Franklin and Yost, and he just took off, and he showed a little bit of jets himself and took it 43 yards to the house for Robert E. Lee, and they've opened up a 3-score lead now.
20-3 with the extra point to come, and most of the plays have been big plays, breaking tackles, long plays, 51 yards to Darrell Tate, 43 yards that time from Wiley, and Chase Wiley is becoming a touchdown machine for this Lee offense. Snap will come to Turner. The hold, the kick by Hinesley is up, and the kick is good. 7:57 to go in the opening half. Second quarter, Robert E. Lee 21, John Tyler 3, and we're back in 1 minute. News Talk 600 KTBB.
This summer, DQ's the only place you're going to find the new Caramel Chip Cheesequake Blizzard and all your other sweet favorites. Only DQ's got Blizzard flavor treats made with our one-of-a-kind soft serve and cookies, candy, or fruit. Peanut butter parfaits, banana splits, dipped cones, and 5 incredible flavors of Moo Latte. For the best food and most delicious treats in Texas, DQ just tastes better.
DQ, that's what I like about Texas.
For those in the armed forces listening worldwide with the Great American Rivalry Series on their website and ktbb.com, if you'd like to email us while we're on the air, tell us where you are. God bless you for serving our country, protecting our country, and allowing us to have a night like this with this great rivalry at Trinity Mother Frances Rose Stadium in Tyler. You can contact us by just easy Smokey, SMOAKY, at ktbb.com. We'd love to hear from you. Here comes Judson Hinesley with the kick. This time it's much deeper, and Keordrick Black will field it around the 2. Spins back to the goal line, tries to break a tackle, does get a little room out just outside the 15. That's great coverage for Lee downfield. Involved in the tackle is Hunter Glasky and Skylar Talley. And with 7:50 to go in the second quarter, Randy, JT needs and they need a drive. They need something here.
Yeah, they need to do something to keep Lee's offense off the field. That Lee drive, David, 5 plays, 63 yards in 2:13, and Chase Wiley now has a 13-yard reception for a touchdown, and also now a 43-yard run down to the right side of the to the end zone for Robert E. Lee, and 2 scores for Wiley tonight.
Jeremy Johnson, the quarterback, the cool customer, but down 21-3. JT's opening drive, remember, they had a pretty good drive going. They settled for the field goal. 7:50 to go. John Tyler for 18. They snap it. keeping Johnson, has room 20, 25, tripped up, a nice play in the open field with a blocker on him was Ben George. And has he made a difference coming in at that left cornerback position? He picked off a pass last week. Jeremy picked up 5, and Randy looked like he was going to get 10 or 12.
And Ben George was absolutely getting mauled outside by the wide receiver on the far side field, number 10, Nickelberry, wrestled him to the ground, and he brought down Johnson with one arm along his legs.
Gain of 5 out to the 24-yard line. 2nd down and 5, a long 4.5 really. Just inside the 24-yard line, Jeremy Johnson has not kept much. They've usually given the ball to the running. Black is next to him on his left-hand side. 2nd down, JT. Johnson back to throw. Wants to throw. Goes deep middle. Pass. Caught. What a throw. What a catch. 1st down, 37-yard line. I believe David Bush. Is that right, Kevin? David Bush made a catch. What a throw. And if that thing is tipped in the air, there's 3 or 4 Red Raiders. Gain of 13 yards and a 1st down, John Tyler.
It was a great pass and even a better catch. And I'll tell you what, he got waylaid by a couple of Red Raiders as soon as he caught the ball, but a great catch for John Tyler.
In the shotgun, Jeremy Johnson from his 37-yard line. 3 receivers near side. They run Black up the middle. Gets about 4 out to the 41-yard line. Moving the pile a little bit. At the bottom of that pile, Jared Anthony, but Patrick Howard, the junior, his father played it. John Tyner makes the stop along with Simon Blaylock. The lead front 3 right now. Randy is playing very well against the run. 2nd down and 6.
Well, they're maintaining everything towards the middle, and that's their strength behind those 3 big guys and also Monagold at middle linebacker.
Cortland Nickelberry splits far side. Curtis to the near side. 3 receivers this way. Left hash. They run the tailback again, not much, maybe a yard or 2. Keordrick Black that time. Patrick Howard makes the stop again. Very physical in the trenches. 3rd down and 5 for JT at the 42-yard line.
Well, he's going to force them to either beat them deep in the air or around the edges because not a lot good is happening for John Tyler inside the tackles thus far in the ballgame.
3rd and 5. JT trails Robert Elite 21-3. 2 receivers each direction. Shotgun Johnson, Black to his right from middle of the field. Shotgun snap. Johnson wants to go left, now rolls to the right. Now throws, pass caught inside the Lee 48-yard line for a 1st down. That's when mobility helps you because Austin was about to knock Jeremy Johnson for a sack. Gain of 10 yards and a 1st down catch by Demetrius Curtis down on his knees to the Lee 49. This is a huge drive for both Robert E. Lee defensively with a big lead and for Lee offensively down by 18.
Yeah, John Tyler must make something happen, and that time Johnson was able to roll out to the near side and find a receiver who just sat down right just past the 1st down marker for the catch.
Just inside Lee territory at the 49, the center is Oziel Arispe. Johnson shotgun. Down 21-3, they run Bush in motion. They give it to him on the outside, breaks a tackle, slips down and around the 45 at a gain of 5. 2nd down and 5. JT's getting good yardage on 1st down. Not big chunks, but they're getting 4 and 5 yards. Their problem right now has been their 2nd down plays.
Yeah, it's forced them into 6 3rd downs already where they're 3 of 6. Not too bad in the ballgame. A short pickup of 5 there, David. And now this sets up a good opportunity for them to do something again on 2nd down.
David Bush, whose brother Antoine was the quarterback earlier this decade, is at the University of North Texas. 2nd down and 5. Black to the right now, heap of Johnson. 3 receivers near side. 2nd down and 5. They run Keordrick Black. Left tackle room. 40. Inside the 40. Breaks a tackle down the sideline. Stripped down inside the 30-yard line. Best run of the night for John Tyner. Down to the 26. Matt Monagold finally makes the stop. Missed tackles. 18 yards. Keordrick Black.
Yeah, missed tackles. Well, he just kept running, kept moving those legs. That's what you teach your running backs to do. And Black did that. He got bounced off several lead defenders and probably broke 4 tackles on the play.
Here's a huge drive. John Tyler trying to put points on the board. Will get the ball to start the 3rd quarter. Still plenty of time left with 4:15 clock running, trailing 21-3. Johnson in the shotgun. Chancellor to his right on his right hip. Johnson rolls near side. Flag is down. Play is blown dead. Proceed ball against John Tyler, receiver to this near side, and they had one running down the seam. I believe that's Dominic Ward, who has come up with huge plays this year. Ward is averaging 15 yards per carry and also per reception this year.
That's John Tyler's first penalty of the ball game.
No, they had a personal foul, remember, early in the game.
Okay.
that kept Lee's drive alive.
That's correct. That's their second, pardon me.
1st and 15 from the 31-yard line. Shotgun Johnson, that's where he's always at. Rolls the option near side, pitches it wide. He's got Chancellor at the 30, 25, 20, 15, sideline 10. Tackled inside the 10-yard line. Kendrick Chancellor, they run the beautiful option play. Junior Kane makes the stop and a player down. Ben George on the near side, down on the sideline. 22 yards, Chancellor inside the lead 10 to the 9, 1st and goal. 3:39 to go. 21-3, and JT needing points and right now threatening to score at the 9. 21-3, Robert E. Lee back in 30 seconds on News Talk 600 KTBB.
Ever notice when Texans get the hankering for something hot, fresh, and delicious, they end up at DQ? It's because only DQ has the best tasting burgers, baskets, sandwiches, and salads in the state. From 100% pure American beef and all-white chicken to fresh veggies and all your favorite toppings. No matter what you order at DQ, you know it's gonna be great. DQ just tastes better.
DQ, that's what I like about Texas.
Ben George comes off the field, assisted initially by the trainer, Mandy, but he was able to come off with his own power. Kind of slammed his helmet off as he's upset that he got hurt, but he's back and probably will come back in. C.J. Johnson will take his spot at that cornerback position. Remember, Trey Smith has had the ankle injury the last couple of weeks. So John Tyler trying to get a touchdown, down 18, 3:25 clock running first half, second quarter. Black to the right of Johnson. Takes the snap, runs Keordrick Black and got nothing. Reggie Taylor again involved in another play on the offensive line and a possible loss of a foot or two, 2nd down and goal.
Well, they're just not able to get anything really inside the tackles when they ran that option play prior. Just a beautiful running lane set up for Chancellor. Black that time got the ball, took 2 steps, and was walloped right at the line of scrimmage.
Under 3 minutes to go, second quarter, John Tyler trailing 21-3, trying to get on the board. They had the 32-yard field goal from Jesse Diaz in their opening possession. Lee has scored, Darrell Tate once, Chase Wiley twice. Johnson from the shotgun, from the 9, 2nd and goal, takes the snap, rolls right, wants to throw, sets up, pass, overshoots his intended receiver in the end zone, and the pass is incomplete. Looking again for Charles Jackson, who was a running back a year ago, making that wide receiver transition, 3rd down and goal.
Good coverage down in the end zone by the Lee secondary, and late pressure coming inside by Monagold and company for Lee forced Johnson to throw that ball a little bit too long and high.
You'd think, JT, obviously a field goal, but they're not thinking field goal here, Randy. They need to punch in a touchdown. They do have the second half kickoff, but there's still plenty of time here with 2:36 to go, but they need a touchdown. 21-3. John Tyler, Johnson, and Black are in the shotgun. From the 9, 3rd and goal. Man in motion near side. Jeremy Johnson wants to throw out in the flat. Pass underthrown, intended for Keordrick Black. I don't know if he catches it, Kevin. If he gets in, Reggie Taylor again was there in pressure.
Well, Lee had it pretty well covered. I don't think he gets in. Maybe just a short gain at best. So well played by Lee. A good job defensively to stand up when they had to.
And John Tyler will bring the field goal unit in. A field goal does make it a 2-possession game. You don't get into possessions, of course, until sometime late 3rd quarter and 4th quarter. But they do need to come away with points. This has been their best drive in this game. John Tyler will kneel. This is Joyner, kneels at the 16. Diaz, a 26-yard attempt. Snap, good. Hold, good. Kick up, and the kick is also good. Jesse Diaz is 2 for 2 tonight. Score, Robert E. Lee 21, John Tyler 6, 2:27 to go in the second quarter on News Talk 600 KTBB.
Ever notice when Texans get the hankering for something hot, fresh, and delicious, they end up at DQ? It's because only DQ has the best tasting burgers, baskets, sandwiches, and salads in the state. From 100% pure American beef and all-white chicken to fresh veggies and all your favorite toppings. No matter what you order at DQ, you know it's gonna be great. DQ just tastes better.
DQ, that's what I like about Texas.
Tonight's contest between JT and Lee being featured as one of the great American Rivalry Series games broadcast on the internet. across the nation, around the world, as part of the Great American Rivalry Series broadcast network presented by the United States Air Force. We want to give the special welcome to all servicemen and women around the world who are listening to this broadcast. We appreciate all you do. God bless you for allowing and protecting our freedom. Here's the kick by Diaz. Wiley will field it at about the 10, at the 15, makes a move, 20, flag is down. This is coming back down the sideline. Wiley tackled out of bounds at the 32, but Lee, and this is good news for John Tyler, they will have the ball deep in their own territory, 21-6, 2:20 to go in the second quarter, and Lee has been killed with penalties so far in this first half.
Yeah, that makes 6 on them tonight. And anyway, John Tyler's that scoring summary, 12 plays, 83 yards, and 530. They do get a field goal, but they take 5.5 minutes off the clock to do so.
So what happens here now, if you're John Tyler, you do love to bring a lot of pressure. Lee, you would think with the 21-6 lead, will try to be somewhat conservative, but their conservative is misdirection no matter what. JT, if they the perfect situation for Robert E. Lee is to somehow still get points in this drive, which would take up most of the half. At the same time, if you're John Tyler right here, Jamie Lent, if you could force a punt this deep in Lee's territory, you should get great field position.
Yeah, with those 3 timeouts remaining, you want to use them. If you can get stops in first and second down, any extra opportunities you can get to get another possession here would be huge.
Offset I, Liz left. Wiley the up back. Dede Brown is the deep back. They run Wiley on a counter at the 15-20. Secondary again, 30. Waits for a block from Turner. Keeps driving outside the 40. Chase Wiley. Ball came loose, and I think John Tyler recovered. The ball came loose, and JT has it at the 44-yard line. Billy Tompkins with a huge play, and Chase Wiley had a huge run, but it ends in a fumble at the 44-yard line. 32-yard run. Great play to strip it loose, and John Tyler has the ball back. This is better than a punt.
Well, as it turns out, it might be, but it gives John Tyler time to have the football. Of course, Owens and his staff is livid. He looked like his forward progress may have been stopped, and second and third effort, and he was just trying to get more yardage. They're having a conference about it now.
Kyle Rutherford is the referee, the East Texas chapter. The umpire, Charles Batee. Head linesman is Brad Frisbee. Gary Chalk, who's been very busy, the linesman, and the back judge is Monty Florence, and Lee has turned the ball over at their 44-yard line. So John Tyler, the field goal, pulls them to within 15. They now have the ball right back. Chase Wiley's over 100 yards in this game, but that's another fumble. He had one earlier that was real damaging this year against Longview. From the 44, they run black. No, Johnson keeps it open field, gets around the corner, and not much at the 42-yard line. Got maybe a yard to the 42. Jeremy Johnson, that's a great open field tackle by Aubrey to force him to the sideline, and the rest of the Red Raiders came and cleaned it up, 2nd down and 8. Boy, Robert E. Lee, the penalties, the kickoff return, the 4 personal fouls, they have really not had a lot of those penalties, Randy. Most of those penalties they've had are the false starts and holdings this year.
I'd say over-aggressiveness tonight, and it's really hurt them.
2nd down and 8, Johnson in huddle. Under 1:30 to go as they break the huddle. Ben George is not back in. C.J. Johnson will pick up Tariq Spencer to the near side. Joyner far side. Shotgun Johnson, 42. They run a little wide receiver flip pass. This is first down inside of the 30 to the 29-yard line, and Dedrick Morgan, first time we've called him tonight, he can flat out get it done, gain of 13 yards and a first down. Junior Kane makes the stop, first down, John Tyler.
John Tyler just looks for their wide receiver out in the flat, and he's all alone when he makes the catch and uses his great speed to dart ahead for the first down for the Lions.
Plenty of time left, but JT has to at least keep their eye on the clock. A minute to go as they'll take this snap, down 15. Remember, John Tyler gets the ball to start the third quarter. Snap. Black, they run the option. The draw, little zone read for about 2 or 3, down to the 27, to the 26. If they score and get 2, they could pull to within 7. After all of this, would be a huge lift for JT. Now the clock runs down to 40 seconds. JT has all 3 timeouts left, and I'm not sure why they're not using some of them as the clock continues to run, and finally they do. 38 seconds to go. They, I think, lost about Kevin Simon about 30 seconds to 35 seconds on this drive.
Well, David, they've done this all season long. Even when it comes to calling timeouts, they're very patient, probably to a fault, but they've done this all season long. They do get the timeout, and this is really a lot of time for John Tyler. Again, they're a very patient team, the most patient team I've seen since I've been covering them.
They can strike in a hurry, obviously, with the weapons they have. But if in fact they have to grind this out a little bit, Randy, with 38 seconds to go, it would be nice to have an extra 10 or 12 seconds later in the drive.
Yeah, well, 16 or so charted off right then in between calling the plays and getting to the line of scrimmage, and those could be very, very important here on this drive.
38 seconds to go in the half. Producer back at our studio, Justin Brinker. Engineer is Mike LaRue. Spotter is Craig Smoke. Kevin Simon and Jamie Lent will have halftime interviews with both coaches after this half is over. Randy Johnson in the booth. I'm David Smoke, and we're glad you're listening to News Talk 600 KTBB. John Tyner after the timeout. They come back from the 26-yard line. Spencer far side. Joyner near side. Shotgun, 2nd down and 7. Johnson rolls far side, wants to throw. Now over the middle, pass is thrown, and is it caught? It is at the 15-yard line. Charles Jackson, 1st down, JT, and that really puts him in great field position, stops the clock, 11-yard pickup, and now they can throw it in the end zone a couple of times if they want to. They got plenty of time now with 30 seconds left, and Johnson is starting to heat up. From the 15, clock runs under 25. Shotgun Johnson, back to throw. Little flat pattern out to Ward at the 15 and out of bounds. Got about 2 or 3. And that's about it. C.J. Johnson makes the stop. 17 seconds to go in the half. 21-6, Robert E. Lee and John Tyler nibbling, but eventually not to throw the ball in the blue end zone that says, in fact, John Tyler.
And John Tyler's doing a great job of getting their speed guys out in the open flat for these receptions, giving them a lot of space to work. And he had 2 defenders coming up on him that time Ward did, but he was able to pick up a short gain.
Morgan, Bush, Jackson, Joyner. Here comes the option. Johnson throws it outside to Black at the 15 and hit at the 10, and the ball came loose. And Robert E. Lee forces the fumble, but John Tyler, Kevin recovers.
Well, he got a favorable bounce. It bounced right back to him because Robert E. Lee was all over that thing, but somehow it bounced back to him. He was able to reel it back in, and John Tyler maintains possession.
Inside the 10-yard line, timeout John Tyler, and another Lee player is down. Simon Blaylock, the senior, 6'3", 235 is down. So George has gone down. Blaylock has gone down. They picked up 4 yards on what could have been point-costing play on the fumble inside the 10-yard line. Halftime will be brought to you by Pelche. Just say Pelche. Simon Blaylock is up and off under his own power. Looks like he got hit, but there's a lot of, boy, this is intense. It's supposed to be. That's the way it is. JT Lee, 53rd edition, 50th year of the great rivalry and the Great American Rivalry Series. Across the country on the internet, brought to you by the United States Air Force. And again, we want to give special welcome to all servicemen and women around the world who are listening to this broadcast. We appreciate all you do. God bless you for allowing us to have the broadcast. This game, gorgeous night. Rivalries all over Texas tonight. This is one of the great ones. Hakeem Holly checks in. 3rd and 2, John Tyner from the 8-yard line after the fumble recovery by JT. 10 seconds to go in the half. Johnson, they run Black up the middle, bounces outside. He can't do much. He gets knocked down with 5 seconds to go. Kevin, there's a couple of seconds. Now, they can maybe get one more playoff, but I'm not so sure. And they can still throw it one more time. Kevin.
Well, it's 4th down, so they're probably going to have to go here with the field goal. They are yards short of the 4th down, just a one time, no timeouts left, so we're expecting to go for the field goal here.
Now, remember that 10 or 12 seconds, Randy, those 12 to 15, 20 seconds earlier in this drive. They may go for it here. What about emotional right here? If you do stick it in and get the 7 instead of nothing, if you don't kick the field goal and you go for it and score.
Have all the momentum. You have all the momentum in the world going into halftime. If you do score, or if they opt to kick a field goal, that puts 3 more points on the board, but they're not going to catch up kicking field goals. But they have to get in the end zone. You have a big emotional pull going into halftime, and then you get momentum to get the ball right back on the opening kickoff in the second half for JT.
5 seconds to go in the first half, 21-6. Robert E. Lee scored first on a long run by Darrell Tate of 51 yards. JT countered with the field goal from 32 yards out to make it 7-3. And then Lee scored on a Chase Wiley touchdown catch, a run, and John Tyler countered with a 32-yard field goal from Diaz. They will go for it, 4th and a yard from the 6-yard line. They're going to go for the touchdown or nothing. Back to throw Johnson. Wants to throw. Has to throw it away. Pass is underthrown. Hit as he throws and incomplete. Man, JT leaves some points on the field. Austin Wilson and Patrick Howard give John Tyler a big boost. We'll go to Jamie Lent with Mike Owens.
All right, Coach Owens, your defense gives up some yardage on the last couple drives, but that only nets 3 points. How big of a defensive stands were those?
Our defense is doing a great job considering the situation we put them in. We've got some of the dumbest penalties that you can have in America. And then we fumble the football on top of that. And so that's got to stop.
You talk about the penalties. You know your team, big rivalry here. You know they were going to come in intense. Do you think maybe with those 4 personal fouls they're a little too jacked up?
Oh, I think we're calling it pretty tight, but that's up to them. That ain't me.
All right, thanks, Coach. Good luck.
All right,
you,
Coach.
Kevin.
Okay. Coach, struggling to get some points here in the first half. You have an opportunity here at the end of the first half to kick a field goal. What was you thinking going for it there?
Well, momentum was on our side. Our kids wanted to go for it, so we went for it.
Defensively, you're having a tough time stopping the run. Shades of last week. What adjustment do you have to make here in the second half to slow lead down?
We just got to stop the run, We're there to make the play. Our kids just got to step up and make a play. We'll get that fixed at half.
Appreciate it, Coach.
This summer, DQ's the only place you're going to find the new Caramel Chip Cheesequake Blizzard and all your other sweet favorites. Only DQ's got Blizzard flavor treats made with our one-of-a-kind soft serve and cookies, candy, or fruit. Peanut butter parfaits, banana splits, dipped cones, and 5 incredible flavors of Moo Latte. For the best food and most delicious treats in Texas, DQ just tastes better.
DQ, that's what I like about Texas.
Time for the moment you've been waiting for. So hold on to your seats because the John Tyler Big Blue Marching Band and bring that drill team all the way to Valley with a superb performance tonight. The band that is often imitated but never duplicated. Ladies and gentlemen, the pride of Tyler, the John Tyler Big Blue Marching Band. This just in, we interrupt this broadcast to bring you some breaking news. The 2008-2009 Bring It officers will not be performing Everything's Coming Up Roses tonight. Instead, they will be pushing up daisies. The Erie Bring It officers, Junior Lieutenant Jaquetta Anderson, Junior Lieutenant Shalika Fidel, First Lieutenant Shanika Butler, and Captain Ashley Laird. Joe Rangel. Your team director is Ms. Jennifer Sleepy. At this time, I would like to recognize our band, drill team, color guard, line guard, and cheerleading seniors. The band seniors are Oliver Flores, Jesse Delgado, Superbian Irwin, Shelby Field, Summer Davis, Brittany Freeman, Harold Haggerty, Kayla Hicks, David Horn, Gideon Lee, Geronimo Leon, Michael Mims, Tasha Pettigrew, Mark Ross, Jamel Tucker, William Whitmill, Octavia Wilmore, Brigadier Seniors, First Lieutenant Shaniqua Butler, Social Officer President Erica Cornejo, Kivana Davis, Elizabeth Valtierra, Social Officer Vice President Shawana Warren, Color Guard Seniors, Tanner Gitchway, Mickey Yanoki, Xavier Edwards, Bridget Van Zant, Cheerleaders, Taylor Bell, Chantel Coleman, Raynisha Elmore, Shatavian Franklin, Kimian Fly, Brianne Bird Rapali, Carmisha Sanders, Brittany Williams, Lion Guard, Darren Walker, Tadero Scott, Campy Fields. Seniors, thank you for your dedication, contribution, and commitment to your various organizations. John Tyler salutes you and wishes you much success in your future endeavors. And now, John Tyler's new Big Blue Band proudly presents the musical theme to this year's UIL show entitled Hot Salsa. The band will now march and perform to the music of Mis Abuelos, featuring Oliver Flores and Marquise Whitmill.
Notice when Texans get the hankering for something hot, fresh, and delicious, they end up at DQ? It's because only DQ has the best tasting burgers, baskets, sandwiches, and salads in the state. From 100% pure American beef and all-white chicken to fresh veggies and all your favorite toppings. No matter what you order at DQ, you know it's gonna be great. DQ just tastes better.
DQ, that's what I like about Texas.
Ladies and gentlemen, join me in viewing a spectacular halftime show presented to you by the Robert E. Lee High School. We invite you to sit back and enjoy the incredible Sunny Ball Drum Team and the fabulous Robert E. Lee Band. The drum team officers are Captain Leslie Harris, Chelsea Dickerson, Emily Harris, Julia Lambert, Natalie Thomason, with head drum major Caleb Ketchum and assistants Paul Pearson and Rachel Hilburn. The Red Raider Marching Band presents the closer of their 2008 contest show, including the music Sandscapes. Selections include music from the motion picture The Mummy and the orchestral classic Scheherazade.
This summer, DQ's the only place you're gonna find the new Caramel Chip Cheesequake Blizzard and all your other sweet favorites. Only DQ's got Blizzard flavor treats made with our one-of-a-kind soft serve and cookies, candy, or fruit. Peanut butter parfaits, banana spritz, dip cones, and 5 incredible flavors of Moo Latte. For the best food and most delicious treats in Texas, DQ just tastes better.
DQ, that's what I like about Texas.
Robert E. Lee has come out of their locker room on the north side of the stadium. Here comes John Tyler. They'll meet near midfield, 21-6 Lee at halftime with a 15-point lead. And we're going to go around the horn. Kevin Simon, we'll start with you, then Jamie, and then back to Randy and I up here. Kevin, 21-6. Lee has been able to get big plays in this first half from an offense in Lee that has not had a lot of big plays. Your thoughts about how JT comes back and your thoughts about how Lee continues to lead?
Well, this is something that started last week against North Mesquite in terms of stopping the run. John Tyler had a lot of trouble last week. They had trouble in the first half. It is the first order of business for the Lions. They have to find a way to shut down the running attack. Otherwise, it's going to be a long night. For Lee, they just got to continue what they're doing. They got the defense off balance. For John Tyler, they just got to maintain what they're doing.
For the Red Raiders, they really ran the football well in that first half. Struggled a little bit when they got into throwing the football, so I think you'll see Lee stay to the ground game here in the second half. For John Tyler, I think the possession early on here, down by 15, I think this first possession is huge. They need points, and at this point, they need 7 points. They need to reclaim some momentum.
Yeah, they've been able to nickel and dime, and they've been able to move the ball at times, but not finish a drive, and that's the one thing that Lee has done. Randy with the long run by Tate, the long run by Wiley. And again, right before the half, John Tyler got a huge break when Wiley had the long run that put him over 100 yards. Chase Wiley had 106 yards tonight, but the fumble gave JT that extra possession. And then you wonder, okay, they came away with nothing because they did not convert on 4th and goal. Lee had the chance maybe to score more points right there.
It's quite possible. There was 2 minutes and 10 seconds left when he turned the ball over, and John Tyler took it back and was stopped on 4th down. But the key for John Tyler is they've got to stop the Lee run and get some 3-and-outs and get their offense momentum. And they're going to get the opening kickoff here in the second half to do just that. For Lee, it's just maintain, keep the ground game going, and try to stop John Tyler, keep them out of the end zone a couple of times, and that's what we're looking at.
Again, JT will get the ball to start the second half. Keordrick Black is back deep. Kendrick Candler and Ward are also back deep. Black is in the middle. Judson Hinesley kicks off from the south end zone from his 40, and here comes the kickoff. Very high and pretty deep. And Black will field it at the John Tyler 4, gets his feet underneath of him, and runs right into Glasky, number 31. Hunter Glasky has been very good along with the rest of the coverage teams, and they really kind of turned the corner on the coverage teams, Randy, about 2 or 3 weeks ago. They put other players in who, as Mike Owens said, hey, who wants to play this particular game?
Yeah, and last week was the big one as Morgan led the charge along with Camp and Glasky. Tackles quickly down against Horn, and that's where it really took off. And this week they've done a pretty good job maintaining that as well.
So huge opening possession, a lot of time left, 11:55 obviously. We've just started the third quarter, 21-6 Lee. Both teams have shown they can run the ball. Both teams have shown they can move the ball. The difference is that Lee's running game has produced the big plays, the long 33, 43, and 51 yards. 18-yard line, Johnson throws it out in the flat. This is Dedrick Morgan. He turns the corner, run out of bounds at about the 17, 18-yard line. C.J. Johnson was there, and they have defended that play pretty well, and Morgan picked up just about a yard on the play. Jamie.
We saw Ben George go out late in that first half. Wrapped up his shoulders. Shoulder pads are off. Looked like an injury to the elbow. Filling in now in his place and starting this second half is a junior Gilbert Sutton at that cornerback position.
That's a huge, huge injury to report. Thank you, Jamie. 2nd down and 8. Johnson, they run middle, not much there. Here's the ball that comes loose on the ground, and now it all depends on who's the strongest at the bottom of the pile. That thing popped up right in the air. It looks like John Tyler is acting as if they have recovered the football, and that's the second fumble, and they have. That is a huge play right there. Randy, Lee had the ball pop up in the air and nothing but Red Raiders everywhere, but somebody for John, a yeoman's job, and there's a player straight down on the field. So they've already lost a player, and that's Patrick Howard, whose father played at JT, and he is on his back at the 19 or 24-yard line. So Lee has had problems with the injuries to Ben George, Josh Aubrey, and now possibly Patrick Howard.
That would be a huge loss too, David. On the play, it looked like Austin Wilson was reaching for it, grasping for it as it popped in the air, and then it hit down at his feet, and it looked like an offensive lineman for John Tyler to the right-hand side of their offensive line did indeed recover it. But more importantly, it bounced ahead about 3 yards for John Tyler.
Had a good bounce, but Patrick Howard has been a beast inside, and Jamie, you and I both know this. Hakeem Holly has come in and rotated at times, but Patrick Howard has been dominant in this first half.
It's been huge in this first half, David. He's played really well as this season has gone along, and he would be a huge blow for the Red Raiders to lose. Another injury, David, that I haven't been able to tell you about yet. Not in at this point.
He's
down on the sideline stretching. And Jordan Aubrey, coming out of the locker room, heard him talking to the trainers and complaining about pain in one of his quads. So it's that same thing with Jordan and Josh. Seems like when one gets hurt, the other one's hurt as well. Right now, neither one of them at 100%.
Now, JT has thrown the ball pretty efficiently. They're 6 of 13 for 60 yards. Now 7 of 14 for 60 yards. Gilbert Sutton, of course. But they've thrown the ball a little under. But with the cornerback situation, you wonder if they may take shots JT downfield. Johnson, 3rd down. Morgan in motion. They keep it on a quarterback keeper. Johnson right up the middle, 40-yard line. 1st down, he got 13 yards. No, he got more than that. He got 16 yards. Jeremy Johnson's longest run of the game. So a ball that pops up in the air that you could recover, and JT's drive continues.
And a beautiful play call. He faked the handoff of the receiver coming by on the motion call, and he just takes it and falls right in behind the right side of his offensive line for a huge gain.
1st down, John Tyler. They trail 21-6. Robert E. Lee defensively now with Hakeem Holly at the tackle spot. A shotgun snap, Black up the middle, not much. Chancellor, I believe, on the carry. And not much there. Matt Monagold, who one game earlier this year had 18 tackles, and of course Blake Roberts has had 17 in a game, and that time a gain of a yard for Kendrick Chancellor. Here comes Keordrick Black back in the game with that blue towel hanging from his hip on 2nd down and 9.
John Tyler goes inside, then back inside again for a short gain.
Here's a flag that comes down, and this is going to cost JT 5 yards. That's an illegal substitution. They broke the huddle with too many players, and that's going to cost John Tyler 5 yards. Kendrick Chancellor just didn't leave the huddle quick enough, and by the time he did, JT had broken the huddle. You can leave the huddle, but you got to make sure that the huddle's not breaking. That cost JT 5. That's their 3rd penalty, Randy?
That's correct.
And a personal foul early on the hit of Day Brown, and then 2 5-yard penalties. Robert E. Lee has been just unbelievable. Penalties in the first half, 4 personal fouls. I don't think they've had 4 personal fouls
the whole
this
year.
Hey, don't forget every pregame, the Burger King player profile. Today, Jamie Lent profiled Junior Kane. Bill Coach profiled the running game, including Keordrick Black of John Tyler. 2nd down, back to throw. Trying to set up a screen over the middle. Finally dumps it off to Black. Flag is down. Short gain out to the original line of scrimmage, but this could be an illegal man or an ineligible receiver downfield. Austin Wilson and Reggie Taylor make the stop for Lee. So now we check the flag and a gain of 3 yards back to the 40-yard line. And Kyle Rutherford, the referee, the East Texas chapter, will now say no flag, and they waved it off. It was a screen pass, and so the offensive lineman are downfield, and a gain of 3 to Keordrick Black. Keordrick Black out of the backfield came into the game with 23 carries. That is his... Is that right? That's his first catch of this game. 8 of 15 now for Johnson for 63 yards. Here's 3rd and 10. Lee with a 3-man front. Johnson back to throw in the shotgun. Pressure up the middle. He has time to pass over the middle. Tipped in the air and almost intercepted. But Chris Dinkins that time, Jamie made the play.
Great break on the football there. Looked like he had the receiver open for just a moment, but Dinkins playing that safety position exactly as you're supposed to play it. Makes a great break on the ball, knocks the pass away, and good hustle by Roberts to get back there and dive and nearly get the interception, but just a yard or 2 away.
Remember, Dinkins started the year, early on had that depth-ended receiver. That ball was almost behind him. Now Lee's got too many players on the field. They got to be careful because it would be 5 yards, but they do get Sutton back on the field. When you have players hurt, you start to have problems maybe with your numbers of special teams. Back to punt is Spencer for John Tyner from the 40. A good snap, no pressure, gets it off, and a high wobbly punt that will hit at the Lee 30 and bounce straight in there and dribble inside the 25 closer to the 20. So Tariq Spencer with a nice punt. Alvin Arps downs it inside the 25. 37-yard punt. Lee's offense comes on the field to start the second half with a 15-point lead.
And it was the penalty on the drive really that really shut down John Tyler's movement up the field.
Isn't it amazing how a 5-yard, even early on in the series, how a 5-yard penalty can just blow your momentum.
And it did just that, and then Lee came up strong on a pass play or 2.
Robert E. Lee with Luke Wagner, the quarterback, with Wiley backs almost in a wing position. Wiley is off the right hip of the tight end, Nick Harden. Day Brown is the lone setback. From the 23, Brown gives away in the backfield, now tries to bounce it around the corner, and he does. 25-30 and out of bounds for about 7 or 8 yards. And Derek Rush is very upset on the sideline, wanting a penalty on that particular play. He's already on the field talking to Kyle Rutherford, the referee, and Day picked up 5 when it looked like he was not going to get much at all. But Kendrick Wilkerson at the 30-yard line. Looked like he was going to get more than that, but they actually give him... Wait a minute. They had the yard markers at the 20. That drive started at the 23. The yard markers right now are at the 25. I'm not sure if the sticks are wrong. A gain of 7 yards that time.
Now they're backing him up.
Oh, they were nervous. 1-yard line. Holst in the center. They give it to Darrell Tate. Turns the corner and has room. 30, 35. First down. Ball comes loose. Recovered by Biggs out of bounds, and that ball was out of bounds before he came down with it. And another fumble that JT almost recovered. Billy Tompkins makes the stop. Here's one thing we do know. When Lee fumbles, the other team usually recovers.
Always.
And tonight when John fumbled. John Tyler has also recovered a gain of 8 for Darrell Tate.
Well, he's carrying the ball like a loaf of bread way out of his side, and it got just jarred loose as soon as he got near the out of bounds. And fortunately, the sideline protected him that time.
Billy Tompkins, the former quarterback, stripped him that time, but the ball, the momentum, goes into the Lee bench from the 43-yard line. 8:54 to go, third quarter, 21-6. Robert E. Lee with the ball. Wiley in the Liz formation, offset I left. They go chase Wiley up the middle. He'll lean for a couple, maybe not even two, out to the 40-yard line. Big Ashton Dorr. Adrian plays for Texas A&M. He'll play for somebody on Saturdays, Randy. 6'2", 275, and just a junior.
Yeah, he is riding right on top of Wiley. Had none of that business breaking through the line of scrimmage like Wiley has done several times tonight, and he wrapped him up for a very short gain of 1.
That is the play that really Lee's offense somehow feeds off of. Remember, the state championship team, Peyton Price's ability to break it like Wiley's done tonight really was the and people having to worry about that as much as anything else. Second down and about 9 from their 40. Wagner, they run the delay of Day Brown. He gets outside 45, makes another man miss, and has a first down in JT territory. That's a really great run by Day Brown because they had him pinned in. Billy Tompkins makes the stop, but Randy, that's the best we've seen Day run in about 3 weeks. Remember, hurt the shoulder against Mesquite.
Yeah, he did a great job there. A nice block at the line of scrimmage by Hogan and Martin to open the door for him, and then he did a little stutter step to pick up another 3 or 4 yards and the first down.
Robert E. Lee right now has 238 yards rushing in this game. Day Brown is checked out. Chase Wiley, the lone setback. Anthony Nelson is on the wing to the right-hand side. Tate is on the near side. First down, Lee right at midfield with a 15-point lead in the ball. Tate goes in motion. They fumble the snap. It's on the ground, and Luke Wagner's good for one of those about twice a game. And it's just a little bit of somehow it's a low snap or he's not able to get a hand on it. But at the end of the play, there's a penalty flag. And John Tyler may have been called for some post-play activity. Elijah Williams was involved in the play with Brent Martin, and this could cost one or other 15 yards. Oh, it's against John Tyler. That's a huge 15-yard mark off. It puts Lee down into JT territory. These two teams, you know it's high octane, lots of intensity. That is the 6th personal foul that we have seen in this game tonight at Trinity Mother Francis Stadium here in Tyler.
That's a costly one. Lee would have had second and long after the fumbled snap that fortunately Wagner fell on for Lee, but now they get new life, actually. Another first down on the play.
It would have been second down and 11. First down here at the JT 36-yard line with 7:37 to go in the third quarter. Greg Holston, the junior center, and Wagner right behind him. In motion, Darrell Tate. This time they give it to Darrell. He goes right tackle, slides underneath the 35 to the 31, and just kind of fell for 5 yards. That's a good pickup on first down. LaKendrick Wilkins. A lot of cornerbacks. Kevin Simon, I'm using a lot of defensive backs tonight in calling tackles for John Tyler.
Which is never a good sign, David, but they've got some of the best tackling defensive backs on this team. But again, that's not what you want. That's just an indication of how well Robert E. Lee is running the football.
That's exactly right, and they're getting big gains. That was 5 yards, and Darrell Tate picked up 5, but he had the 51-yarder earlier. Second down and almost less than 5 at the 31-yard line. And they go Liz formation, offset I to the left. Chase Wiley is the up back. They run the draw. Day Brown slides for about 2 or 3. Maybe got 4. Close down to the 27. Clock runs with 6:35 to go. Cliff Caldwell spins him down after a gain of 4 and sets up third down and 1 for Lee with a 21-6 lead and the football. Stephen Reagan checks in for Lee. Marquise Mosley, the sophomore, who had a big catch in that Mesquite Horn game, remember, Randy, in the opening scoring drive that kicked that thing and kept it going. Reagan goes far side. He can fly. Doesn't get many passes thrown his way. He's had 2 catches this year for 24 yards. Third down and a yard for Robert E. Lee midway through the third quarter from the 27. Wagner with Holston is stacked up right there. Wiley is hitting the backfield and loses 2 yards. You could see there was no way, Randy, or Jamie or Randy, that they were going to get much of the middle. John Tyler had everybody tackle to tackle.
Well, they were stacking the line of scrimmage, and they burst through right in by Martin and Holston and wrapped up Wiley as soon as he touched the football.
And third down and maybe a yard is turned into 4th and 2. And let's be honest here, with 5:41 to go, lots of time left. But if you're John Tyler, you cannot afford to give up points right here. This could be a huge play in this game later on when we see the result. 4th and 2 in motion is Darrell Tate. Shotgun to Wagner, takes the snap. They run a reverse to Day-Day Brown. He's stuck at the 32-yard line. That is a huge play. Mark that down if JT does come back. They were down 15, and Lee had a great drive going, but they end up turning the ball over. Ricky Marshall makes the stop for John Tyler at the 32-yard line. That was not one of your better 2 or 3 plays.
No, it wasn't, and it just took too long for the play to develop, and it doesn't take John Tyler but a couple of seconds or second or two to be in the backfield and just push a wedge to the right side of the field and wrapping up Day-Day for another loss.
John Tyler had their defense 3rd and a yard. Lee was at their 27. They end up getting the ball at their 32-yard line. And Darrell Tate was not a part of that offensive selection that time. Dedrick Morgan runs in motion. Johnson wants to throw. Steps up. Austin Wilson makes him run. He tries to scramble, loses a couple of yards. Austin Wilson closed in a hurry. Also, Hakeem Holly and Simon Blaylock were there, and Johnson loses 2 back to the 30-yard line. 5 minutes to go, 3rd quarter, 21-6. Robert E. Lee with the lead, and Patrick Howard is checked back in the game. Give Holly a hand if you're a Lee fan, because he really did give Lee some great snaps right there. Simon Blaylock comes out. In the shotgun, Ward is right next to Johnson. They run him up the middle at the 30, spins for about 2 or 3, not much more. Matt Monagold was there, and the lead tackling, Jamie, in this game tonight has been very sure-handed.
Well, we knew JT can really do some damage on the ground tonight. You had to limit the yards after first contact, and Robert E. Lee has done a great job. Sure tackling number 1 by individual players, but also great gang tackling as well.
4 minutes and 20 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter. Here's a 3rd down and 9 for John Tyler. Jeremy Johnson with Ward to his right, drops his mouthpiece and picks it back up and will take the snap from Arispe. Rolls to his right, looks for a zone read, passes, almost intercepted again by Dinkins. He was trying to thread the needle that time to Morgan, and Jordan Aubrey and Dinkins were there, and Chris Dinkins had a contact. He did not keep his feet, but he could have gone 6 the other way. 4th down, and JT has to punt the football again, and Darrell Tate sits back at about the 30-yard line for Lee. The defense that time, both teams come up big.
Yeah, they have, and Lee's defense makes another little bit of a statement there with a 3 and out, but John Tyler with a big 4th down stop moments ago, and it goes for naught as Lee is able to rise to the occasion.
John Tyler down 15 with 4 minutes and 2 seconds to go, 3rd quarter. Tariq Spencer is back to punt. Here's the snap. It's a good snap. Pretty good pressure. Gets it off. End over end punt that hits at the Lee 40. Bounces down to the 30. Bounces down to the 25. And, it's a heck of a nice punt by Tariq Spencer. He gets a 26-yard roll that knocks Lee back to the 22-yard. 50 to go, 3rd quarter, 21-6. Robert E. Lee with the lead of 15. They get the ball back. 44-yard punt for Spencer, no return.
There was really no way for Darrell Tate, the returner, to get over there because he had 3 white shirts barreling down on him, so he just let it roll wisely on that play, and Lee will take over.
It's a good punt. We're starting to see that about 2 or 3 years ago where a guy, that's not what Tariq did that time. He just got a really good end over end roll, but almost as you're running and you punt. The punt game, people are starting to think outside the box. It's always neat to see that. All right, John Tyler down 15. Lee with the ball at their 22-yard line. Wagner is under center. Day-Day Brown is the lone setback. And Luke runs the stretch play. Day-Day hit in the backfield and loses 2 or 3. And all of a sudden, the disruptive plays, they're not running the misdirection. That was a straight stretch play, and Day-Day loses 3 yards, maybe 4 back to the 18.
John Tyler's just really just bent on getting Lee out of their rhythm offensively, and they've done that now in the last 3 running plays. They've all gone for negative yardage. Give credit to that front 4 up there with Williams, Dorsey, Terrell, and Marshall.
It's almost like they said we're fed up with you running the football on us, and they've pretty much shut that down in this particular quarter. 3:18 to go, 3rd quarter. Robert E. Lee has had 15-point lead now since late in the 2nd quarter. Luke Wagner dropped his mouthpiece. The quarterbacks can't hold on to their mouthpiece. Double straight wing formation. Wagner with Tate in motion. They give it to Day-Day. He's hit in the backfield. The ball came loose, and Day-Day recovers at the 10. John Tyler right now defensively is taking over the offensive line of scrimmage. They've made some adjustments. Kevin, do you know what that might have been?
Not sure, but they're loading up the line of scrimmage. And I mentioned in the first half, when you load up the line of scrimmage, you've got to make the tackle at the line of scrimmage because once the back is in the secondary, he's gone. But they're doing a better job of just loading up the line of scrimmage and making the tackle. So good job by John Taylor, good adjustment.
Well, you take the risk, and you have to when you're down 15. You got to create better field position. You got to create a turnover. And now Lee faces 3rd and 21 from their 11-yard line. Day Brown is in the offset eye. Luke Wagner is the quarterback. They run the ball to Day Brown, right tackle at the 15, breaks a tackle 20, 25, 30, into the secondary, and one of the biggest plays of this game, a lead draw that time, Kevin. Well, you talked about not missing the tackles. They just did.
Well, they had to wrap up. Got a good shot on him, stopped him well short. Would have had him stopped well short of a first down, but you got to wrap up and make that tackle. We just talked about it. When you load up the line of scrimmage, you got to make that tackle. They did not.
And Day Brown just found a hole to the right side very briefly. The delay in the handoff worked perfectly with the pressure. Came in and caved in. He went right by it, right behind Yost and Lacey, found an opening and broke free for a big first down for Lee.
And I think Chase Wiley got himself one heck of a block on the lead draw, and I'll talk about Day in a second. First down at the 37. Darrell Tate in that T-gun will keep it off the left side, cuts it back inside, and will lean for about 2 or 3, maybe 4 out to the 41-yard line. More than I thought. Corey Wilson, haven't called him a lot, the safety, the senior, involved in that tackle, as is Sidney Terrell, the senior defensive tackle. That is, and this is, Jamie, the healthiest Day Brown is the win against Mesquite.
Yeah, you would think with somebody with a shoulder injury wouldn't necessarily affect the way they run the football and their speed, but it definitely has affected the way Day has run the ball. Can't take on contact, can't make those wiggle moves like he does so well, but tonight he has looked better than he has in quite a while.
Because he made somebody miss him on an upper body tackle on that first down, 3rd down and long. Shotgun Tate from the... They give it to Day Brown, and not much there. Good job by John Tyler to just kind of seal any openings. Ashton Dorsey, who is a load to get, he that time knocked Day to for a loss of about a yard. Alvin Arps is also involved. He's played himself a heck of a game. Here's another long 3rd down conversion with under a minute to go, 3rd quarter. Our score, Robert E. Lee 21, John Tyler 6. It's been this way since really, Randy? Midway through the third, or late the second quarter.
The 2:27 mark of the second quarter, Diaz kicked the second field goal for John Tyler. And Lee is 3 of 6 on 3rd down conversions with this one upcoming.
From their 40-yard line, they'll go split backs Wagner. Lee 3rd and 7. Franklin, the H-back far side, goes in motion. They run play action with Wagner. He's got Franklin deep and wide open. Caught 40, 30, down to the 20. Try to strip him. First down. What a throw by Luke Wagner. Doug Franklin, 6'2", 235-pound senior, is a load once he gets loose, and that was a perfectly thrown ball. And Randy, that came off the play action again.
And all the running, Lee has just lulled John Tyler to sleep with the run. They're 1 of 3 in the first half. They complete their first pass of the second half, and it's a beautiful play call by Dalwin and company.
I tell you what, Luke he was so wide open. All he had to do was make sure he got it anywhere in the vicinity. LaKendrick Wilkerson saved the touchdown. No scoring in the 3rd quarter. Our score at the end of 3, it is Robert E. Lee 21, John Tyler 6. We're back in 60 seconds on News Talk 600 KTBB.
Ever notice when Texans get the hankering for something hot, fresh, and delicious, they end up at DQ? It's because only DQ has the best tasting burgers, baskets, sandwiches, and salads in the state. From 100% pure American beef and all-white chicken to fresh veggies and all your favorite toppings. No matter what you order at DQ, you know it's gonna be great. DQ just tastes better.
DQ, that's what I like about Texas.
This summer, DQ's the only place you're gonna find the new Caramel Chip Cheese Quake Blizzard and all your other sweet favorites. Only DQ's got Blizzard flavor treats made with our one-of-a-kind soft serve and cookies, candy, or fruit. Peanut buster parfaits, banana splits, dip cones, and 5 incredible flavors of Moo Latte. For the best food and most delicious treats in Texas, DQ just tastes better.
DQ, that's what I like about Texas.
Starting the 4th quarter in the T-gun formation, Darrell Tate keeps it around the right side, turns the corner, got a couple of yards, got 3 down to the 10. We start the 4th quarter. Kevin, Jamie, Randy, quickly talk about what has to happen for either team in the 4th quarter.
Well, it goes back to John Tyler needing to stop the run. Those are deflating 3rd down conversions. Those kinds of plays really take the air out of a defense, and John Tyler's going to have to get it together and put something together and force a field goal here if they're going to stay in this ball game.
Now the Red Raiders need to capitalize and make this 7. That could be a knockout punch that JT would basically end their chances here tonight.
Second down from just outside the 11-yard line. Tate got a couple of yards. Wagner with the offset eye. Rip right. Franklin, the H-back, who just had the big catch in motion. Wagner wants to throw. Hit from behind and gets away. Now throws it into the end zone. A man is open, tipped in the air, and incomplete. Oh my goodness, what a nice job on the backside pressure from John Tyler. Luke escaped it and then throws into the end zone. It looked like he was throwing for Harden, but Wiley came across at the end and tipped that in the air. Like Kendrick Wilkerson was there, and JT that time came up with 2 big plays. Robert E. Lee was going for the kill right there.
Yeah, they were, and boy, fortunately for Lee, Wagner didn't take the sack. John Tyler missed him, but a great downfield coverage play for John Tyler to knock the pass away.
This is a critical play. We've already seen 2 huge third down conversions on Day-Day's run and also the pass to Franklin. Wagner will set up in the shotgun from the 11-yard line with a 15-point lead. Takes the snap from Holston, back to throw. Throws a deep fake. Great. Flag down. There's a flag down. He caught it. Touchdown. Robert E. Lee. It all depends on the flag. The back judge throws the flag that is Monty Florence, and it depends on the call here. Kyle Rutherford, the referee. Pass interference against JT. That's a touchdown. And what a throw. And Darrell Tate's second touchdown. Wilkerson was the corner, and Lee's lead is 27-6. Boy, Luke Wagner's made 3 completions. All of them have been perfect throws.
And they've all been big plays when they needed them. Caught John Tyler off guard. Just a great man-to-man play down in the corner of the end zone. Tate was able to just get right behind the cornerback on the play and make a beautiful catch on a perfectly thrown pass.
Jamie, I'll come to you in a second. The extra point, Hinesley with Turner holding. With 11:39 to go, the extra point is almost blocked, but good. Score with 11:39 to go in the fourth quarter. Robert E. Lee 28. John Tyler 6 back in, well, no, Jamie, let me come to you. Tate, normally you see that ball thrown high in the air. He leaped over Wilkerson to make the catch.
Well, tonight we've seen Wagner do a great job of using touch on his passes, and on that one we seen him with the line drive, showing you a little arm strike there. It was a tight spiral. Tate to go up and get it. He initially didn't have control of the ball, but as he was going to the ground, great concentration to pull it into his body and hold on to it as he hit the turf.
21 seconds into the fourth quarter, and Lee with a big run, remember, in that drive by Day-Day Brown, the pass to Franklin of 43 yards to keep the drive alive, and that was also another third down.
That's exactly right. They went 3 for 3 on the third down conversions. The big run from Day-Day to get them out from behind their own shadow of their own end zone. And then also the big pass to Franklin, and that touchdown toss is huge for Lee. And 3 for 3 on the drive. They're now 5 of 8 in the ballgame on third down conversions. A big thing for Lee to have happen.
Luke Wagner, 3 of 5 tonight for 71 yards. He completed a 13-yard touchdown to Wiley. He completed the 47-yarder to Franklin to keep the drive alive, and that one went for 11. Luke Wagner in this game, he came into this game with 3 touchdown passes. He has thrown for 2 in this game against John Tyler. And Lee is also closing in on close to 250 yards rushing in this game as well. A lot of people are starting to leave on both sides. There's a lot of time left. This is a great rivalry. What else do you have to do on a Friday night? Hinesley set the kick off from his 40, kind of a middle pooch kick that will be caught by John Tyler at the 15-yard line. That is Detrick Morgan, and he is tripped up. Did he go down or not? I don't think they actually called the play dead. Now he comes this way, and he's thrown down again by Junior Cade. Initially, I think that was Damian Morgan that had him up, and then he got away. Garcia was there as well, and then he got loose, and he actually lost yards on a great effort, and Junior Kane tossed him down for back at the 11-yard line.
Robert E. Lee scoring summary, David, 9 plays, 78 yards, and 401. And 3 big plays in the drive, a big run from Day-Day, a big pass, 2 big pass plays from Wagner to both Franklin and Tyler.
Here's an update, other district scores. This is very important. DeSoto has lead on Horn 28-21. That's who JT plays next week. And North Mesquite is blowing out Mesquite. They are playing some football there. 35-14 Stallions. Here's Jeremy Johnson, runs the flip outside. Black, not much there. Gang tackled for a gain of a couple of yards. The lead defense so far to this point has outplayed JT's front line against the run, although against the run in this second half has been much better. There's a player down for John Tyler at about the 15 with 11:10 to go, fourth quarter, 28-6 Lee. We're back in a moment on News Talk 600 KTBB.
Ever notice when Texans get the hankering for something hot, fresh, and delicious, they end up at DQ? It's because only DQ has the best tasting burgers, baskets, sandwiches, and salads in the state. From 100% pure American beef and all-white chicken to fresh veggies and all your favorite toppings. No matter what you order at DQ, you know it's gonna be great. DQ just tastes better.
DQ, that's what I like about Texas.
It's Oziel Arispe, the 55, the senior, who, Kevin, you said he had cramps. The good news, he's off under his own power. Jamie.
Well, Robert Ely really looking good on that last possession, guys. The Red Raiders mixing it in with the run and the pass and the knockout punch that we were possibly wondering about. They may have gotten it, but JT with an explosive offense. Yep. Still plenty of time in this game.
They have come back a lot this year. John Tyler, including last week, down 21-0 to 24-7. Johnson slant pattern caught, and here comes Joyner. He caught the ball against Ryder for the score. He's out near midfield. That's what, Jamie, you were just talking about. And a nice gain. Austin Wilson makes the stop on a beautiful throw by Johnson for 32 yards to Joyner.
Joyner in the seam, made a great catch, and was able to motor ahead another 20 yards before defenders could catch up to him. But a nice pass play right on the money from Jeremy Johnson to Joyner.
Joyner for 32 yards. John Tyler can throw it, which allows you to come back from whatever you're down. They run the draw now to Keordrick Black, who bounces for a couple of yards close to midfield at the 49. Matt Monagold was there. Let's set the offensive line. Oziel Arispe is back in for JT. Tackles are Carroll and Anthony. Guards Greg Jones and Israel Nunez. For Lee up front, the front three is Simon Blaylock, Hakeem Holly, Patrick Howard at times at tackle, and also Reggie Taylor. Linebackers are Monagold and Roberts in the middle. Wilson kind of roams around, and Aubrey and Kane are the safeties. Cornerbacks are Sutton and C.J. Johnson. Safety is Chris Dinkins. Johnson, they run the reverse. It's set up. Dominic Ward midfield. Goes outside 40. Jordan Aubrey tries to track him down, and he does, and out of bounds. Dinkins with a tackle at the 22, and here comes John Tyler. Boy, can he flat out run the ball. Dominic Ward is faster than light. Down to the 22-yard line and a gain of 27 yards.
Back-to-back plays. John Tyler's eating up a big chunk of yards, 32 and 27. And that was just a beautiful play call. It had about 9 of the 11 lead defenders totally fooled as they came near side with the back pitch going back toward the speedster, and 2 Red Raiders are there to bring him down.
JT has to get points. They're down 22 with 9:44 to go. Johnson back to throw. Wants to throw. Pass underneath, caught at the 18-yard line. Short gain. Pass is intended and caught by Ward again. A gain of 4 yards. Lee there defensively to make the stop. Roberts, Monagold as well. So Johnson is now 10 of 19 for 99 yards. Ward's second catch for 7 yards. Skylar Talley's checked in for Lee. Blaylock comes in, and he will be on the defensive end side. And now Lee's got to have a timeout. They got players all over the place. The injuries have created some confusion here with 9:15 to go. It's 28-6 Lee. John Tyler threatening, down 22, back in 60 seconds on News Talk 600 KTBB.
This summer, DQ's the only place you're going to find the new Caramel Chip Cheesequake Blizzard and all your other sweet favorites. Only DQ's got Blizzard flavor treats made with our one-of-a-kind soft serve and cookies, candy, or fruit. Peanut butter parfaits, banana spritz, dip cones, and 5 incredible flavors of Moo Latte. For the best food and most delicious treats in Texas, DQ just tastes better.
DQ, that's what I like about Texas.
Ever notice when Texans get the hankering for something hot, fresh, and delicious, they end up at DQ? It's because only DQ has the best tasting burgers, baskets, sandwiches, and salads in the state. From 100% pure American beef and all-white chicken to fresh veggies and all your favorite toppings. No matter what you order at DQ, you know it's gonna be great. DQ just tastes better.
DQ, that's what I like about Texas.
Kyle Rutherford, the referee from the East Texas chapter, told me today we'd get a minute during timeouts. We didn't get the minute. They ran a play. That's Jeremy Johnson for 10. And John Tyler has 1st and goal at the 8-yard line. Tackle made by Junior Kane. Patrick Howard comes off, and JT trying to get right back in this game with 9 minutes to go, trailing 28-6. John now with 36 yards on 7 carries. JT trying to move with some urgency. Trip set near side, right hash. Johnson, the quarterback, low snap, has to keep it himself. He's going to be hit for a loss. And that's Reggie Taylor, who has played himself a game here tonight for Robert E. Lee, and that's a loss. It's a low snap, a loss of 5 yards. That is something that John Tyler, early in the year, Kevin, am I right, struggled with some high snaps. They really haven't had much of a problem with that.
No, they got that corrected for the most part, but a little bit of a slide back there on that run.
Simon Blaylock is checked out. Patrick Howard back in. 2nd and goal, John Tyler with 8:15 to go in the 4th quarter from the 13 of Lee. 3-man front. Snap Johnson wants to throw. Out in the flat, caught by Bush. Bush he's drilled at the 14-yard line. Patrick Howard comes over, but Monagold made the initial stop. Roberts also brought him back inside, and now under 8 minutes left, and JT faces 3rd and goal from the 14.
Well, you hate to have negative plays if you're John Tyler, but this probably, in a weird way, gives them a little more space to run the passing game, but Lee's defense on 2 consecutive plays has backed up the line.
Here's another starter for Lee's defense coming out. Chris Deans is out. Basically, the entire secondary except for Kane is not in the game right now. Even Jordan Aubrey is out. 3rd and goal from the 15, and Johnson with trip set. Wants to throw the fade pattern. Johnson is there. Pass caught. Touchdown. C.J. Johnson had great position. John Tyler back in the game with 7:26 to go. 14-yard touchdown. Tariq Spencer jumps in the air over Johnson and scores. Very eerily similar, if you're a Lee fan, to the touchdown he gave up in DeSoto.
Yeah, it was a huge play for the Lions to try to get back in the ball game, and those losses really turned out to be a plus for them because it gave them room to run the fade. It's harder to run it from the 9 as it is the 15, and John Tyler makes it happen and gets on the scoreboard with the first touchdown of the night.
And technically they're within 2 scores, down 16, and John Tyler, because of that, will go for 2. Joyner and Bush far side. To the near side is Spencer. 2 running backs. Right, there's a low snap right through the legs of Johnson. He'll try to pick it up, and now there's a flag down. And a delay of game call against JT. That really doesn't affect you on a 2-point conversion because, as you said just a minute ago, Randy, it almost gives you more room to run.
Yeah, a little more space to operate when you run more of a spread or a zone read offense, and it wound up being a plus for them, a positive, as they get it in the end zone.
28-12. Robert E. Lee is up 16, but John Tyler has just scored their first touchdown after 2 early Jesse Diaz field goals. Boy, Tariq Spencer went up over Johnson, who had the coverage, but he's just so much taller and just made a great catch. And a beautiful throw. In the shotgun, Ward goes in motion far side. Johnson rolls that way, tries to flood the receivers, throws underneath and tipped away by Kane in the end zone, and a flag is down. A flag is down in the end zone. That is the head linesman who makes the call. Maybe Kane had his hand on the shoulder intended for Dominic Ward. Pass interference, and that gives JT another chance for the 2-point conversion. So 7:26, both teams with penalties here. The first was a delay. The second is a pass interference call in the end zone that will give John Tyler another shot at the 2. And they'll also really almost have an option here to run it or throw it at the 2-yard line. It's a 5-yard pass interference call. 7:26, clock is stopped. Johnson and JT are down 16, 28-12. And they'll come out of the huddle for a 3rd time for a 2-point conversion. Spencer far side, near side. Receiver in the slot as well as Jackson. In motion, low snap again for Johnson. He will get swarmed under inside the 15-yard line, and Lee's defense, another bad snap. All of a sudden, that's 2 in the same possession. JT loses the 2-point conversion attempt. Taylor and Wilson are there defensively. 7:26 to go in the game. 28-12. Robert E. Lee up 16. We're back in 60 seconds on KTBB.
Ever notice when Texans get the hankering for something hot, fresh, and delicious, they end up at DQ? It's because only DQ has the best tasting burgers, baskets, sandwiches, and salads in the state. From 100% pure American beef and all-white chicken to fresh veggies and all your favorite toppings. No matter what you order at DQ, you know it's gonna be great. DQ just tastes better.
DQ, that's what I like about Texas.
This summer, DQ's the only place you're gonna find the new caramel chip cheesequake blizzard and all your other sweet favorites. Only DQ's got blizzard flavor treats made with our one-of-a-kind soft serve and cookies, candy, or fruit. Peanut butter parfaits, banana splits, dipped cones, and 5 incredible flavors of Moo Latte. For the best food and most delicious treats in Texas, DQ just tastes better.
DQ, that's what I like about Texas.
With 7:20 left in the game, not sure how JT handles this. They need 2 scores and 2 two-point conversions. 7:26 to go, could be an onside kick, and Lee is looking as if they want to defend that, but again, they also can try to kick it deep and see if they can stop Lee. Jesse Diaz will kick off from his own 40-yard line. 28-12. JT up 16. They do have an onside kick attempt. It goes through the legs, and John Tyler has it, and then they drop it. And it's on the ground, and Lee will recover inside the 10. What a bizarre play. The onside kick went right through a Robert E. Lee player. JT, I thought, Kevin, had picked it up where they would have been down, but he lost control of it, and Lee recovers at the 10.
Well, Wilkerson had it. He caught it on the run, but got a little anxious, squeezed the football, and it popped right out. Bad break for John Tyler, but they were looking to score on that one.
KJ Jones is the one that comes down with the recovery, and that's just as big as almost a turnover because JT had the ball with the onside kick, and Lee looked like they really weren't sure if they were ready for it, but it kind of just bounced right through them. Now, bad field position, 7:24 to go, and Wagner at quarterback at the 10-yard line. Offset eye, they run Wiley on a little counter up the middle, and he got about a yard or 2 out to the 12. And right now, the key, there's a flag down at the end of this play, and it looks like it could be against Robert E. Lee at the end of the play based on JT clapping. 7:17 to go. Well, these guys have been busy. The referee is Kyle Rutherford. Umpire is Charles Batty. And this is a dead ball foul as well. And it is against Robert E. Lee. That is the there's also a player has been ejected from the game. Greg Holston, the center, has been ejected from this game. Not only is he ejected, he's the center. Hunter Hogan is going to have to move from left tackle to center. And timeout, I think, called by Lee. The player Holston, the junior center. This has tremendous implications with the snap, Jamie Lent.
Well, the good news is, David, as we've talked about all season long, Hunter Hogan is about as experienced and versatile as an offensive lineman as you can get. He's played center before last year and this season, so he is a guy that Luke Wagner has worked with before, and hopefully that experience in the past comes into play here.
Okay, earlier, Justin Brinker, you guys got to give me that score one way or the other. You said 35-14 North Mesquite. Now you're saying 52-14 Mesquite. So I need to kind of figure that out. That's huge for both of these teams here tonight. Here's what the deal is the field position is flip-flop for John Tyler here, but the other thing is Hunter Hogan moves to center, and now Steven Sizemore has to go to left tackle, the blind side of your quarterback, although right now you're not sure you're going to throw the ball.
And Hunter hasn't snapped in a game, I don't think, since the Lufkin or Longview game way back early in the season. So this, we have to watch the connection from quarterback to center, center to quarterback here, and see if Lee can get the snap off.
Got some scores coming in, some finals. We'll get to those, but all of a sudden the clock is stopping. JT down 16, 28-12. Lee has snapped, will snap this from their 6-yard line. That is the 5th, I believe, personal foul against Robert E. Lee tonight in this game. 5th. Although that was just a couple of yards, you lost your center. Hogan, the center, that's where he started the season. Gives it to Wagner, Day-Day Brown off right tackle, turns the corner at the 10 and tripped up at the 8-yard, not quite the 10. Looked like he was going to get to the 10. It's a great open field tackle, and Arps and Wilkerson involved again. And a short gain out near the 10-yard line, a gain of 5. 7 minutes to go, 3rd and 11 for Robert E. Lee.
And Day-Day did the very best he could to try to get outside. He stutter-stepped, thought about cutting back inside, but he was forced out towards the sideline here on the near side of the field and brought down by Arps and company.
So 3rd and 11. almost pretty sure that Luke Wagner will most likely in some way hand the ball off here to somebody, and players coming in and out, and Lee's got a little confusion. When you start to lose players, they're going to run Wagner under center with Hogan at the 9-yard line. Clock is now at 6:30. JT trying to get great field position. Offset eye to the right. Somebody moved and it was Franklin, and right now Lee with the lead is the one that's not showing composure.
No, they're not at all. This will be the 9th penalty of the game, at least by my count. Closing in on 80 yards of penalties against Lee tonight. The only good thing about this for Lee, if you look at it, of course it backs them up towards their goal line, but they're only 2 or 3 yard penalties. But it's been a very, very uncharacteristically undisciplined game, at least from the penalty outlook for Lee tonight.
So from inside the 5, 6:24 to go. Clock will run again as they wind the clock down. Lee will probably let that clock run a little bit on the play clock. It's down at 20. Kevin Simon on the John Tyler side. Jamie Lent on the near side. 28-12. JT down 16, but trying to get the ball back in great field position. Wagner with the offset eye. Dede Brown is actually in the end zone in the I formation. They run Dede Brown up the middle, and he makes a couple of misses, but then gets out to the 5. And that's where Lee will punt the ball with the 10 with 5:55. JT has all 3 timeouts remaining. Billy Tompkins makes the stop. Dede picked up 6 yards, well short of the first down with 5:45 and counting. Brown now has 85 yards on 15 carries. Wiley has 105 yards on 9 carries, and Tate has 77 yards on 8 carries. And Wagner has the 1-yard quarterback keeper. Brady Jones is back in the end zone, averaging 32.8 yards per punt. Back to field the punt is Blackett around the Lee 45. So JT will also, you would think, bring everything in the kitchen sink. Here's a snap. He gets it off. Little wobbly punt that will hit at the 40 and bounce backwards and almost hit a JT player who dodges it, and it's down at the 44. So here come the JT Lions, down 16 with 5:06 to go. Plenty of time left because field position helps save them times. 39-yard line, a 29-yard punt by Jones. The best thing there is if you're Jones, that you just got the thing off.
Yeah, you got the punt off of John Tyler coming after it. He was able to step right inside a little bit of a shield or a cocoon and make the punt and get it off for Robert E. Lee.
28-12. It was 21-6 Lee at halftime. They scored to start the third quarter, 28-6. And then JT just scored on the beautiful throw to Spencer in the corner of the end zone. Johnson from the Lee 39-yard line, 3-man front, low snap. They give it to Dominic Ward. No, Johnson keep 40, 35, runs into a safety. Kane, that's a heck of a collision, has a first down. Clock stops with 5 minutes to go at the 28-yard line.
Nice fake and a nice quarterback keeper. He rolled out. No one at home for Lee as he charges into the secondary, and they bring him down, but not before he picks up another John Tyler first down on the 11-yard gain.
We're now getting conflicting reports. Apparently Mesquite is the one that is hammering North Mesquite, 52-14. And again, all those things have a lot of implications based on this result tonight. JT first down, 27-yard line. Johnson wants to throw, rolls to his right, chased by Holly. Nose to the sideline, back across the middle, and incomplete. Pressured that time by Monagold. He was trying to find Jackson, and Monagold hit him as he throws, and it's incomplete. Matt Monagold has really shown amazing closing speed whenever he's tracking down a quarterback this year.
Yeah, he zeroed in on Johnson. Johnson kept rolling up, first trying to elude Holly, and he got by him. Monagold came up, and he forced him to throw the ball low and into the ground, falling incomplete for John Tyler.
For JT is the fact it stops the clock with 4:41 to go, 28-12. JT at the 27-yard line. Snap, they run, Ward up the middle, 25-20 at the 15 and spun down there. A touchdown-saving tackle by Junior Kane, but Dominic Ward has gotten more involved in this fourth quarter and a gain of 13 yards and a first down.
Beautiful play call, the design to delay it, and he takes the handoff and rolls right up the middle. Lee's not at home in the defensive line at the moment, and a big pickup for John Tyler.
There's plenty of time left. JT has come back throughout this year. Do they have another one in them? Shotgun with Ward now, right of Johnson. In motion is Jackson. Jeremy Johnson wants to keep it, bounces outside and runs into a bunch of Red Raider defenders and got short yardage down to the 12-yard line. Clock is at 4:10. Will be under 4 minutes when they take the next snap. Aubrey involved along with Austin Wilson, gain of 3 for Jeremy Johnson.
Yeah, he's going to keep the ball in his hands, either throwing or running it or giving it back to one of his fast backs, either Black or Ward.
The speed of Dominic Ward has been effective here in the zone read. Now they run in motion. This is Jackson will come to the near side with Detrick Morgan to his left. Johnson wants to throw the fade again. Has a receiver back there, and Sutton with very nice coverage on Spencer, as he really kind of just was the one who was more the receiver than he was the defender there, incomplete.
Well, he never turned around. He faced the line of scrimmage the whole time. Very, very good technique on the play by Sutton, and the receiver never could get to it because the pass was well out of bounds, but a great technique play on the far side from cornerback Sutton.
3rd down and 9, 3:44 to go, 28-12. Robert E. Lee with a 16-point lead, trying to protect it. 3-man rush for Lee. Shotgun Johnson, back to throw, slant, intercepted inside the 5. What a play by Matt Monagold. Oh no, was that Roberts? Blake Roberts. Monagold was there. That was almost Jamie back over his shoulder.
That's a terrific effort by a linebacker, David. Looked like a tight end or making a nice catch down here in the flat. The pass is just a little bit late. The receiver had already cut through, and a great effort by Roberts to stop on a dime, dive back to the outside, and pull the pass in.
You know, Jeremy Johnson, Kevin, has so much faith in his arm, and he's got a great arm, but sometimes he's tried to thread the needle. He did that time, and unfortunately there was someone between the needle.
Well, he's taking some chances tonight, throwing into double coverage this way, not able to get away with it.
Lee with the ball outside their 4-yard line. JT was still 3 timeouts left. They handed off to Day Brown, and he nibbles out just past the 5-yard line. Right now, if you're Lee, you're just trying to waste the time. If you're John Tyler, trying to get good field position again with 3:30 to go. Boy, that's a huge turnover. Monagold was the one who I think was also in the 10. But Blake, those two just have been a good combination at middle linebacker.
Yeah, they have. And Roberts has been playing a little bit in the slot against the slot receiver most of the night. And he backpedals and just reads the quarterback. It just makes a really, really nifty interception over the shoulder facing forward for a big Lee turnover.
After a huge first half in rushing yardage, Lee has had things settled down. They haven't had the long run in this second half. They had the big play to Franklin, though. Play clock is down to 3. Wagner with double tight set from his 6. They'll run the stretch to Day Brown, turns the corner, but not much there, but leans for 2 more, just trying to run out some clock a little bit. Now remember, and Jamie, in this game, Lee has lost Dinkins for a few plays at safety. Josh Aubrey's been out. Ben George has been out. They lost Patrick Howard for a little bit, and they lose their center, who's ejected.
Yeah, you would have to think that that's cut down on the success that Robert E. Lee has had in this second half. But the Red Raiders have done just enough to have a comfortable lead at this point, and it's nice to see the reserves getting in there and not only contributing, but holding down the fort, so to speak.
I mean, Sutton in that play in the end zone, if he doesn't read that right, that could be a touchdown, and JT has the ball. JT would have the ball back with a lot of time left. 2:13 clock running. 3 timeouts left. JT, you'd think, would use one here if Lee doesn't pick up the first down. And here's a flag coming down, a delay of game, and that's the last thing you want to do if you're an offense with the ball, Randy, and the clock running 2:04.
You want to try to milk the clock and do the best you can doing that, David, and that's 10 penalties now against Robert E. Lee.
That's amazing.
Easily the most of the season enforced against the Red Raiders, and they've had a lot of it coming, running mouth and stuff like that, and playing undisciplined.
The post-game show will be brought to you by Advantage Auto, your new car alternative. We appreciate Rick Mavis and company for their support of our broadcast of both Lee and John Tyler this year. 2:04 to go in the 4th quarter. Lee now will run this play from the 3. Hogan to Wagner. They hand it off to Day Brown on a counter tray at the 10, 15, 20. First down, and that will seal it most likely with just over and now under 2 minutes to go in the game. 19 yards. That's another 3rd down conversion for the Red Raiders, 28-12.
And that's 6 for 10 tonight in 3rd down conversions, and really have had 4 big ones now in the second half. And this one, you would think they can run more clock down and milk it on out, but the 3rd down conversions in the second half have been key for the offense.
So Robert E. Lee will now, and again, JT has the 3 timeouts remaining, but not using them here with 1:50 to go in this game. They'll just take their time. Wagner with Hogan, his second center tonight, and Day picked up 19, and now he is over 100 yards rushing in this game. Here's the stretch play. Day this time spins around and is swarmed under by John Tyler back inside the 20 for a loss of 3 yards. We are trying to fill out our ballot. Randy, hold on. Kevin, Simon, and Jamie, both of you live here. They want us to, there's a timeout, John Tyler, to vote for the MVP of this game. Kevin, you start. Who do you think? Although I'm kind of a little bit leery of doing that with 1:27 to go. Kevin.
Well, I think Luke Wagner's been pretty solid tonight, but Day Brown has carried the football. And, great plays on defense. I think it's a toss-up. I'll let you guys figure it out.
All right, Jamie.
All right, we haven't seen much of him in the second half, but I think the first half performance by Chase Wiley was huge. Over 100 yards in that first half, a couple touchdowns, one receiving and one rushing. I think he was very, very important when Robert E. Lee was building that lead.
The Great American Rivalry was asking for our votes, and I mean, we got a broadcast to do, but we have all filled out our ballots, although still always a little bit dangerous when there's time left in the game. With 1:27 to go, JT has taken one here on 2nd down and 13.
Well, Jamie, we'll tell you, we picked the same player you did, so David and I both wrote down.
By the way, on the run by Day Brown of 19 yards, he has had 2 critical 3rd down runs of
25 and 19.
19. He is now over 100 yards at 104, even though he lost 4 right there. They run the counter trap to Wiley, gets in the secondary again, 30. Holds on to the ball with both hands and has another first down with 1:20 to go, and JT calls timeout again. Well, he might have just pretty much confirmed the ballot. Chase Wiley is over 100 yards tonight, has been since the first half. Brown is over 100 yards. And remember, Kevin and Jamie, I'll start with you, Randy, then go to Jamie. We didn't know, no one knew, was it going to be an offense that was disrupted by JT with a lot of negative plays and turnovers. They have big, big running plays in this game tonight.
Yeah, when you had the 51-yarder that started it all off by Tate on the first possession of the game for Lee, and then, of course, Chase Wiley took over, had a big touchdown catch of 13 yards, and then also that big run. He had 2 big runs, a 43-yard touchdown run, and then the one he fumbled on was just 2nd and 3rd effort. He got 32 yards on that one. But Chase Wiley has played his best game as a Robert E. Lee Red Raider tonight.
All right, 1:20 to go, and he had a good game in that game at DeSoto, right, but it was overshadowed because of that gut-wrenching loss at the end. The winner tonight clinches the playoff spot. The winner tonight keeps their playoff hopes alive, but a lot of it depends for Lee, as now DeSoto and Horn are tied at 28. And North Mesquite, DeSoto has beaten Horn. No, they came back to win it, so that's the team that has beaten Lee, 35-28, and that's who JT plays next week. First down, offset I from the 34. They run it to Wiley again. He finds room for about 2 or 3, and love the way, no matter who you are, if you're a fan of either team, if you got the ball and you're trying to run out the clock with both hands like the old days of Larry Zonka, and a gain of 3 yards for Wiley, the final timeout for JT.
Yeah, he's not going to let go of that pigskin on these last couple of carries, as he's protected it to just such a degree that it would take just a monstrous hit to knock it out of his hands.
Here's the surprising game in East Texas tonight. How about this? There was a showdown next week set between ARP and West Rush, both 8-0, or ARP 7-0. They lost the game because of Hurricane Ike. Troop has beaten West Rush 20-14 to hand them their first loss, and that's a huge win in that district for the Troop Tigers and John Eastman, their head coach. 1:12 to go, 28-12, Robert E. Lee. Robert E. Lee had a Tyler, and JT had a Tyler, and Trinity Mother Francis Rose Stadium for those of you listening on the Armed Forces Radio Network through the Great American Rivalry Series around the world. Here's that offset eye, the Liz left, Wagner, handoff, Day is hitting the backfield, escapes at the 30, clear back block, 40, runs over a safety at the 45 and has another first down. Day Brown is healthy, and you can tell because he has had a lot of very physical runs and a gain of 12 more and another first down. He was in the backfield for a loss of 5.
Yeah, he was eaten up at the line of scrimmage, actually 3 yards deep back behind the line of scrimmage. He just twisted free and went back to the far side of the field and broke it open right along the John Tyler sideline for another first down for Lee.
JT's really trying to, obviously wanted to get the ball back, and he went out of bounds, so the clock did stop. 1:02 to go, and now they started up again. They stopped it because of the first down. And now Lee will go into victory formation with 1 minute to go and counting. Luke Wagner, who has thrown 2 touchdowns in this game tonight, who also, let's not forget the 1-yard sneak in the first possession. From the 49-yard line, he will take a knee, lose a yard, and Randy, Lee has run for over 300 yards. That's back-to-back games that JT's defense has given up over 300 yards rushing.
Yeah, that's been the reason why they will lose their second in a row, as they've not been able to stop the run, a very fundamental part of the game. If you can force teams to throw the ball and take them out of their element where they're not as strong, where Lee's strength is running the ball, and tonight you have Wiley and Brown both with over 100 yards.
Luke Wagner takes a knee. He hit a big play early on. He also hit maybe one of the biggest plays because of the long pass to Franklin. JT is not going to be able to stop the clock. And that will wrap up what is the 11th win for Robert E. Lee against John Tyler. They started this stretch in 1999 with names like Derek Farmer and company. Lee jumps out to a big lead, and they win it 28-12, and they've clinched the 11th playoff berth in 13 years under Mike Owens as the head coach. Derek Rush and his team, good luck with them next week, trying to clinch a playoff berth as they play at John Tyler. They can still get in, but there's still some things that they have to deal with as far as who's winning tonight. Mesquite has won, and so has DeSoto. Jamie and Derek will have post-game interviews on News Talk 600 KTVB. We're live at Trinity Mother Francis Rose Stadium in time with the two teams meeting at midfield. And let's go to Jamie.
All right, Coach Owens, you look at the way your offense played tonight, ran for over 300 yards. Your quarterback controlled the game through two touchdowns. Do you feel like your offense is playing as well as they really have all season long?
Well, I tell you, I think we're coming around, and this may be the right time of year to do it. Our defense is sure playing well, but we played with a bunch of guys hurt tonight. I don't know what kind of defense we're going to line up in next week because we got a bunch of them hurt.
Your defense did do a terrific job tonight. You came in tonight knowing that John Tyler was a very explosive offense. You hold them to just 12 points on the scoreboard. Talk about their effort this evening.
Oh, they got great players. They really do. I mean, Johnson and Black and Chancellor. I mean, they're all they got some explosive, big-time players. They really do, and they're all juniors. So, I think they'll probably be picked to win district next year.
On the offensive side of the ball, you have 3 guys rush for over 50 yards tonight. I talked about the quarterback. You guys are really mixing it in right now. Just talk about how well you feel like the offense is playing.
Well, I think they're playing real well. I mean, until we got our center ejected,
clinched the playoff.
We were doing pretty well, and I think we wallowed around a little bit in the second half. We weren't getting on them, but they were bringing guys from every direction. So, but offensively, I'm glad our quarterback, did some really good things tonight. He had some great reads and on some throws, and I mean, he did a great job. He really did.
You head into the final week of the season knowing that you've made the playoffs, a chance to get a district championship as well. You really can't ask for more than that, can you?
That's right, and it's all going to be here at Rose Stadium, too, next Friday. So that's what I'm really excited about. We get to play for district championship, and, of course, we're in the playoffs now, so I'm really proud of these guys. They've come a long way, and I thank God for our defense because they really have carried us all year.
Thanks, Coach Cotrell.
Sure. All right, from Jamie Lent to Kevin Simon with Derek Rush.
All right, Coach, a tough loss tonight, but you got to love the way your kids hung in there and battled back as they do each week at the end of the ballgame.
Well, our kids never quit on us, and they're not going to quit. We're going to keep on fighting to the very end.
Well, if it's one thing you can point to, there's probably several. What got you beat tonight? What kept you from getting the win tonight?
Well, we need to come out and execute the first half. We got off to a slow start again, but our kids played hard.
Back-to-back district losses. Any concerns going into next week's ball game in terms of focus?
Well, we just got to stay focused. Our kids know what's at stake, and they'll bounce back. We'll be okay.
Appreciate you, Coach. Good luck next week.
Kevin, thank you very much. And as Mike Owens said in our pregame and said all week long, he is very impressed with what Derek has done with his football team. They had a 5-game winning streak. They did lose last week, 38-28, and it does put some pressure on them to obviously win next week. Now, they can still get in, Randy, if they lose next week. There's all sorts of complications. Right now, DeSoto 3-1, Lee 3-1, Mesquite and JT are 2-2. Now, JT beat Mesquite, remember that. And then North Mesquite and Horn are both 1-3.
Well, JT is beaten, of course, like you say, Mesquite. The one thing they need to have happen, if they were to lose to DeSoto, is have Lee beat North Mesquite.
Right, that helps John Tyler.
That would clinch it for him.
That's exactly right. If Lee can beat North Mesquite would go 1-4. There's no way they could catch John Tyler, and JT beat Horn, so any kind of a tie with Horn is in favor of JT. So things still look pretty good for both teams in TISD to get themselves in the postseason. This is the Advantage Auto postgame report. Our final score is Robert E. Lee 28 and John Tyler 12.
Thanks for watching Robert E. Lee Football, presented by TISD and Suddenlink Media.